podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Networks on Saturday, April 16th, 2022. This is episode 1885. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by CashFly. CashFly is giving away a complimentary, detailed analysis of your current CDN bill and usage trends. See if you're overpaying 20% or more. Learn more at twit.cashfly.com. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smartwatches. I am joined by, thank goodness, by Mikah Sargent, whose brain is still working.
Hello.
Tech Guy, too. If that means this is a good day to call, 8888 Ask Leo. You can also visit our website, techguylabs.com, mostly after the fact. That's where we put transcripts of the show and links and all that stuff. techguylabs.com. I only mention it because you don't have to write anything down. That way, you know, you're hearing the show, but you don't have to write anything down. It'll all be there, all the links and everything. 8888 Ask Leo. We'll go to the phones in just a second, but, I like to start the show with a look at what's been going on in the world. Has anything interesting been happening?
Not at all.
In
Not
the tech
at all.
world at all?
Haven't heard anything about
Nothing at all.
Twitter, about... No, nothing.
Elon Musk. So last week, previously on the Elon Musk saga, he had purchased a significant portion, about 9.2% of Twitter stock. Twitter had made him the offer to be on the board, which they then reneged upon right about this time last week and said, never mind. Unclear whether that was their idea or Elon's idea, but now I'm thinking maybe it was Elon's idea, because one of the reasons Twitter wanted him on the board is if you're on the board, you can't do a hostile takeover. You can't try to buy the whole thing. You're limited to 15% of the stock. So after the announcement on Saturday of last week that Elon Musk was not on the board of Twitter, do you care about this? Should we not even talk about this?
I don't know.
Like, does it even matter?
It doesn't matter in the long run. Exactly.
It's trolling.
That's how I feel about it. He's just having fun for him. And it's not fun for a lot of other people, but for him,
it's nerve-wracking if you work at Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So then they retract the offer, or he withdraws for something. And then earlier this week, he says he wants to buy Twitter. It is a hostile, they call it a hostile takeover. This was on April 14th, 2 days ago. He's offering $54.20 a share. That's a significant premium over its current value, but nothing compared to how it was last year, which was as much as $75. Musk, one assumes he's got $270-some billion in his, this is important. That's net worth. That's not liquid.
Yeah.
Then he says, I don't think, he says, in a TED event in Vancouver, he says, I'm not sure I'll succeed in buying Twitter. He says, I'd have to sell some stock or something. Then the Twitter board adopts something called a poison pill, which is to discourage hostile takeovers. But meanwhile, by offering the money for Twitter, Elon Musk has put Twitter in play. Others now may step up and saying, well, I'll take it, because you're in this bidding war now, aimed not at the board, but aimed at shareholders, saying, well, your stock is worth $48 right now, but it could be worth $75, let's say, if we offer that. So now the other Richies, it's really the battle of the oligarchs. It's the battle of the oligarch stars. And Elon, of course, is the craziest of them all. But the thing that I think is a little suspicious, by offering $54 for Twitter stock, Elon is effectively saying it's worth that. And I think he didn't pay anywhere near that for his current 9.2% stake. He got that for $3 billion. I think you could say he was hoping that the Twitter stock would then jump to something close to $54, since we're going to get that. Maybe make it 52 and I'll still make $2 a share.
Yep.
It didn't.
It went down.
The market said, yeah, right. The market knows a troll when it sees one. It could well have been what we call a pump and dump scheme, where you artificially, illegally inflate the value of a stock and then sell your stake and make a lot of money. Especially
given how much he loves to troll the SEC as well.
Yeah. Oh, it's illegal, but he's already being sued by shareholders. He's been sued. SEC's investigating. It's a mess anyway. He doesn't care because somebody did the calculations. Elon Musk's net worth, $270 billion. The average American's net worth is $110,000. So to what would look like, for you and me, how can I put this? Elon Musk's offer to Twitter is the equivalent of a small McDonald's fry to you and me.
God.
In other words, it's nothing. The fine, not the offer, the $20 million fine. It's nothing. It's a small, would you like fries with that? Sure. 20 million, here you go. It's nothing. So this is first of all, SEC's got to get serious. If they're going to do this, they got to get serious. They can't just be saying, well, here's $20 million fine. Elon said, well, let me check my wallet. Yeah, here you go.
Yep.
No big deal when you're that rich. I don't know. Of course, I ain't one, but I'm more and more of the opinion we got to tax the heck out of these guys. Let's just take half their money. Let's just take it away. These guys, if you look at, somebody's done the math again, looking at Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, a bunch of tech billionaires, and how much their value went up in the last 10 years, it's on the order of $100 billion each. Ridiculous.
Profiting off of these
and COVID has been huge for them. Yeah. Trillions of dollars going to the pockets of America's richest. No, I'm not talking 1%. I'm talking 1/100th of 1%. The few hundred billionaires in the U.S. So I don't know. Yeah, America likes to say, well, I might be one of them, so don't tax them.
Yeah.
No, you won't.
You won't.
You won't. Here's one that's going to be controversial.
Okay.
Last year, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, said, we're going to aim for no gasoline car sales in 2035. Well, now CARB, which is the California's Clean Air Resources Board, has unveiled a plan to phase out gas-powered vehicles by 2035. 13 years.
Sale or actually having them in the state?
It would ban new gas-powered,
Okay.
So, yeah, your Barracuda, your 1967 Camaro, you can keep that. Your muscle car, your jalopy, you can keep that. But I imagine that's the next thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, before you go freaking out, it won't be voting on this till August. There's a 45-day public comment period, and this will be fun. I hope they stream this, a June 9th public hearing. That'll be fun. Fireworks aplenty. I guess we could talk about this with Sam Abul-Samad, and our car guy, tomorrow. But very interesting. Very interesting. And certainly the car companies are kind of anticipating this. They have been moving very rapidly to beef up their EV fleet. Yeah, you see a lot of
EVs, more and more.
Yeah, GM says we're going to be all EV. Ford has an EV division. They've separated that out from the gas division. So the proposal would not apply to sales of used vehicles. By the way, most people still buy used vehicles because they're smart. You buy a new car, smells good. Okay, I'll grant you.
Agreed.
Smells good, but the value plummets as soon as you drive off the lot. It also would not require cutting gas-powered vehicle sales cold turkey. Starting with the 2026 model year, 35% of new cars, SUVs, and small pickups should be zero emission. After that, that would go up every year. 20% could be plug-in hybrids. And of course, those of you not living in California would say, well, who cares? Well, yeah, but if you're a car company, that's a big market.
Absolutely. And this is a testing ground. And,
sure.
We live in the first city that banned the construction of new gas stations.
You can't build a gas station in Petaluma. Not that we don't have gas. I think the thought was, well, we have plenty.
Yeah.
And you notice one thing, by the way, there are several places in Petaluma, including one in the very heart of downtown, where a gas station once was that nobody can build on because they're Superfund sites. Because almost always in gas stations, these tanks leak, and now you've got to remediate it, and nobody wants to spend the millions of dollars to get that plot. So there are a number of, all over town, there's gas stations that there's nothing there. It's just an empty lot of weeds. So I don't know. Hey, let's take some calls. I think we should do that. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. Leo Laporte, Mikah, Sargent. We're taking your calls. We're answering your questions. We're helping you get the most out of your tech. 888-827-5536. What's Jay Leno gonna do? Okay. Yes, I should put Superfund sites in quotes. Superfund-like site. It's got to be mitigated.
À la Superfund.
À la Superfund. À la mode.
Superfund à la mode.
What is this?
Omelette du Superfund.
Omelette du fromage. Woo! I'm hoping that you're home. Well, this isn't your home, I hope. Have you been living under the desk there?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You and your dogs?
Me and all my dogs. I just had a Leo this past week.
I don't know what to say to that.
His name was Leo.
Oh, it was a puppy. Oh, good. Nice. What kind of dog is a Leo?
Some kind of mutt. Looked a little Chihuahua-ish, multicolored.
Kind of like me.
Hey, if you need a guinea pig for that bottle that you just got, let me know, because I raised my hand.
One of our regulars on the other podcasts, Amy Webb, who's a wonderful, wonderful futurist, had mentioned on the show one time that there's a whiskey that is made kind of like in a replicator. Mm-hmm. Like they don't age it or anything.
Oh, okay.
They make it from the molecule up. And she just sent me a bottle of it. Glyph.
Interesting.
But I'm not an expert in whiskey, so I might have a panel of you and Ant and some other people who are whiskey drinkers.
I'm not a connoisseur like Ant by any means.
See, this doesn't say like aged in the barrel or anything because it wasn't.
Yeah, so it's like it could be made in one day.
Aged in the beaker.
12 years.
Yeah, that's what the theory is.
Aged in a beaker.
So, yeah, it could be good. I think Amy knows her adult beverages. Hand bottled, by the way.
It's worth a try.
Hand bottled. So, who should I talk to?
Let's spend some money.
Okay.
Nan's computer died, and now she needs a new desktop.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
I know.
Thank you, Kim Schaffer.
Screen of death.
Phone angel. Hello, Nan. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, along with Mikah Sargent, tech guy too. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Leo. Hi, Mikah.
Hello.
Okay, it was an old all-in-one Dell computer, like 2014.
Sounds like the beginning of a Dashiell Hammett novel.
It was an old computer.
Rain was coming down on the old computer.
And, I mean, it was a workhorse. I abused that thing. I had hundreds of tabs open.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
But the other day...
Uh-oh.
It just completely died. And when I turn it on, it says, reboot and select proper boot device. And then I did do, a couple of years ago, a recovery drive. I put that in, and I can get into some menus, advanced options, system restore, things like that, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I think it's shot.
It's a dead poly. I wouldn't throw it out. I would take the drive out. Was it iMac? Is it an iMac?
Windows.
Oh, it's Windows. It's a Dell. I don't know why I was thinking Mac. So you can probably... Is it a laptop or desktop?
All-in-one desktop.
All-in-one. That's why I was thinking iMac. It's an all-in-one. So it may or may not be easy to remove the hard drive. I certainly would keep it around. At some point, you might want to try to... Is there anything on there you don't want to lose?
Well, yeah, I don't have iDrive or anything like that. I know, blah, blah, blah.
No backup. I'm not going to... You think I'm going to chastise you, don't you? I am not.
I have an external drive, and I used Windows file history.
Oh, good. So you haven't lost anything? Is that...
Probably not.
Probably not.
I haven't tried to hook up that external drive to anything yet.
So now's a good time to buy a new computer, hook up that external drive, see if you've got everything. But before you get rid of the old computer, make sure you have everything you want. Because you could probably get some stuff off of that drive.
Okay.
So, you know, with a little little elbow grease. But let's not worry about it. That's why it's always better to have a backup, because it's a lot easier.
Yes.
So what do you do with your fabulous computer?
Well, I have a Chromebook, and I hate it. So don't suggest that.
So don't suggest that, Laporte. That's a non-starter. Okay, that's fine. Why do you hate it, just out of curiosity?
I can't do anything on it.
Yeah. So things that you do, you don't, a browser is not enough. You need more.
Yes, but I don't really do that much. I do use Word and Excel.
Yeah, so that's one of the sacrifices of a Chromebook. You can't use Word or Excel. You could use Word or Excel on the web. Microsoft does have a version of that. But really, Google, which makes Chrome OS, wants you to use Google's Docs, you know, all their programs, which are, you know, if you're used to Word and Excel, they're not as good. So I understand that. Do you do any photo editing, video editing, music production, rocket launching, design of spaceships, anything like that?
Maybe some photo and video, but not a lot, not heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy use.
How old is somebody's saying, you know, you might just want to, instead of buying a whole new system, and I don't want to discourage you, but if the computer's not super old, you might just replace the hard drive in it.
No, it's like 2014. It's pretty old.
Yeah, I just replaced a 2014 computer myself. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's not going to be that much faster these days. Intel hasn't made massive leaps and bounds.
Okay.
So you could, I mean, I should say it is an option that you replace the drive in there, because that's what's gone. And everything else is probably fine. So that's one option, and that's a cheap option. That's a $100 option. But,
yeah.
And since it's not it's an all-in-one. Again, it's going to come down to whether you can get into it or not. So that's going to require a little searching on the internet.
I know it. I can. In glancing through the user guide, it can be taken apart.
Okay, so you can open it up if you can, and the drive is right there on the front. You don't have to take up a lot of stuff out. That's an easy upgrade, and you know, if you want to save money, you can certainly do that. It might be the thing to do before you go out and buy.
And I could put an SSD.
Yes, and that would speed things up. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's one option.
Yeah.
The other option is to get a new PC. I think that's what you were calling about.
Yeah. I'm just familiar with Windows. I know Apple.
I'm not going to talk you out of it. I'm not going to talk you out of it. Do you want an all-in-one again? Do you care? Do you want a laptop?
No, I think desktop, but not an all-in-one. I want to be able to have
a tower.
Modular. Yeah.
I am a
big. Need a full-size tower.
No, little mini tower.
And I'm not sure a NUC would be enough. I don't know.
Oh, you know what?
Listen to you.
Listen to her.
Okay.
Use the lingo.
Recalibrating.
Exactly right.
I've been doing some studying.
Well, now.
And the old one was an i7.
Yeah, you want to get an i7 again. I would look at the Dell desktops. Either the XPS or the Inspiron. The Inspiron are a little less expensive. But they are very good, very reliable, good support, good components. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. So that's kind of where I would go. Lenovo, no, I wouldn't go with Lenovo. I would say Dell is probably, for a desktop, is your best bet. That's what and I'll tell you what, we put our money where our mouth is, because we just gave our editors all new computers, and they all got Dells. They got Dell workstations, but that's what we got, yeah.
Now, I like an optical drive can you get an external one?
Yeah. Yeah, they may. I mean, Dell may well, especially on the Inspiron line, may have one with an optical drive.
I know some of the big towers do.
Yeah. But if you don't use it all the time, you can also just get a USB drive that you just plug in, keep it in a drawer and plug it in when you need it. And they're like $40. They're not expensive. I would look, if you're looking at a Dell, at the 12th generation processors. They still are selling 10th. But I would look at the 12th generation. Those are the brand new ones, the Alder Lake. And they are notably more performant, especially in the lower end, like the i3 and the i5. So I think an i5, 12th generation i5, make sure I would get 16 gigs of RAM.
Okay.
And that's going to be $700, something like that. Not a whole lot.
Yeah, that's doable.
Because you're going to keep you'll keep your keyboard and mouse. So I guess you'll have to get a monitor. Dell makes very good monitors too.
Yeah.
So, and you're going to get Windows 11, which is nice. You're going to like it.
Okay.
So let me just see. $899 for an Inspiron desktop with the i7, very fast i7. If you probably don't need an i7, you can go down, save a couple $100, go down to the i5. I don't think you're going to notice any difference.
Okay, especially since my old one was i7, but
old.
Years old.
Right, right.
Probably the i5 is more equivalent to that now.
Yeah. These will have built-in Intel graphics, which it just doesn't sound like you do anything that requires graphics. Like I
don't do huge gaming. No. Yeah.
So, but I would get 16 gigs of RAM. And your old hard drive probably was pretty small, I'm guessing.
I'm not sure. It was no bigger than 256.
Yeah. So 512 would be fine for you, but you're going to get an SSD for sure.
Okay.
For sure. And if you want to spend the one I just spec'd out with a higher end Intel graphics, the i7 is $899. If you put in the i6, it's $650. Oh, let's put in some more RAM. Sorry. No, it's back to $899 because, that's sneaky. In order to put in the 16 gigs of RAM, I have to put in the higher end i7. Okay.
Okay.
That's all right. $899, is that okay?
Yes.
And then there's the monitor. Dell has great monitors. 27-inch monitors are about $300 or $400.
Yeah. So I'm looking at 1,500 or something like that.
Max.
Yeah. Okay.
Versus 100 to replace the hard drive, but then you still have the old system.
Yeah, that could be handy. Have two.
Yes. I didn't even think of that. Yes. And then you might try to recover the old drive, and you'd have, that just to make sure you get all your data back and all that. But yeah, I think the Dell Inspirons are fine. I mean, if you want a little bit fancier, a little bit schnockier, I think the XPS is nice. They're pretty. They're prettier. They're designed more for higher end usage, and they do go up a few $100 more. They have dedicated graphics cards, for instance, but you don't need that. It doesn't sound like. So I think, the Inspiron's the right thing for you. It's not the prettiest thing, but you don't care. You can put it under the desk.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. The Tech Guy Show brought to you today, as always, literally, by CashFly, CACHEFLY.com. Brought to you because CashFly is our CDN, our content delivery network. Why do we use CashFly? Why do we need a content delivery network? Well, the beauty of CashFly is it gets you closer to your listeners, your users, your players, whatever content you're delivering over the internet, with over 50 points of presence spread out all over the world. Your content is closer. So when you're downloading our podcast, you're downloading it not from our servers, but from a CashFly server near you. Faster, more reliable. In fact, it's about, on average, I think, 30% faster than the old ways that we used to do it, just from the website and that kind of thing. It's actually even 30% faster than other major CDNs. And with a 98% cache hit ratio, and 100% availability in the last 12 months, CashFly is wonderful for us. It's a lifesaver. It could be a lifesaver for you, too. I want you to check out CashFly. We use their storage optimization system, which actually increases the cache hit ratio to 100% because you're storing your content on CacheFly. So it eliminates the costs or reduces the costs of getting your content to CacheFly. It means your users will never get the, oh, hold on, I got to get that data. I got a buffer. Nope, it's there. And it reduces your origin servers load, and it reduces your S3 bills and all of that. So that's SOS, easy to remember, CacheFly's storage optimization system. And if you're doing video, you're going to be thrilled when you find out about CacheFly's ultra-low latency video streaming. Less than 1 second latency. We're not talking WebRTC. This is an amazing workflow that scales to millions of users, incredibly reliable. I just think CacheFly's got it going on. I think you'll think so too. That's why I want you to go to CacheFly and get them to look at your usage trends and your current bills. See if you're overpaying 20% or more, whether it's for your origin servers or your CDN, and see if they can do better. I'm betting they can do a lot better. Go to twit.cachefly.com. Get that complimentary analysis of your current bills and usage. You get multi-CDN for redundancy and failover. Intelligent load balancing balances your traffic across multiple providers, giving you the shortest routes, mitigating against performance glitches. On 6 continents, 10 times faster than traditional methods, 30% faster than other major CDNs, ultra-low latency video streaming, lightning-fast gaming, mobile content optimization. I can go on and on. As a very happy CacheFly customer, I have lots of reasons that you should contact them and try it out. twit.cachefly.com. We thank them for their support of all of our shows, especially for the Tech Guy Show. Twit, TWiT.cachefly.com. And now back to the Tech Guy. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy, with Mikah Sargent, Tech Guy 2, and our home theater geek, Scott Wilkinson, is here, contributor at TechHive.com. Hello, Scott.
Hello, Leo. Hey, Mikah.
Hello, Scott.
I don't have a camera big enough to fit all 3 of us. I'm sorry for those of you watching on video. It's an either-or proposition.
Yeah.
It's either this or that. But Scott is here. He joins us every week to talk on the radio, so it doesn't really matter, about TVs, big screen, flat panels, and surround sound. What's up? What's up?
Oh, I got a couple interesting listener emails. And as somebody said near the top of the show, it's time to spend somebody else's money.
Love doing that.
Love doing that. And this is really cool. Abel Veldkamp in Alaska wants to replace his old 58-inch Samsung Plasma TV. And he said his room is flooded with natural light in the spring and summer months anyway. Flooded. Sometimes direct light. So
that's bad.
And and he's unable to block with curtains.
And this is a problem nowadays, this time of year. Lisa and I sat down and watched TV. It was 7 o'clock at night, but there was a lot of light. We had to go draw the curtains on our OLED TV.
Exactly. In fact, that's why in this case, you've heard me many times say I would generally recommend OLED over LCD or LED TV.
Yeah.
But there's one exception, and that's in Abel's situation.
Yes.
Which if you have to battle a lot of ambient light, LED or LCD TVs get much brighter. And that's what you need in that situation. So even his plasma TV couldn't get that bright.
No.
Couldn't get very bright. And an OLED, it gets bright, but it's nowhere near what you need for such a situation.
Yeah.
So he's also looking for 70 inches or more, and he's willing to spend $2,000 to $3,000.
That's exciting.
That's very exciting. It really is.
Does he need to? Is there a reason to spend that much money? It seems like a lot of money.
Well, it does seem like a lot of money. I mean, you know, you spend more money, you're going to get higher quality, better performance to some degree. I've always talked about the price to performance ratio, right? If you look at a graph of that, as price increases, generally speaking, performance increases up to a certain point, what I would call the knee, and then it kind of flattens out. You can spend a bunch more money and only get very small increments in improved performance. And $2,000 to $3,000 is going to get you better performance than $1,000 at a 70-inch screen size in particular. He's talking a pretty big TV.
Yeah, no kidding. But that's good. Always get bigger than you think.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So I've got two recommendations for him that I think are really good. One is the Sony XR75 X95J, 75 inch. Both of these are 75 inches.
Rolls trippingly off the tongue.
Trippingly off the tongue. It's
we'll put this in the show notes. Are you writing this down, Mike?
I am, yes.
Okay, good.
XR-75 X95J.
Right on.
$2,200.
Okay.
It's a 2021 model. The Sony 2022s are not yet out yet, but I think, the 2021 models are fine. The other one is from Samsung. It's called the 75QN90A.
Is this one of those QLED?
It is a QLED.
Or is it a QD OLED?
It's not a QD OLED.
It's a QLED. Okay.
It's a QLED. In fact, it's a Neo QLED.
Does that mean it took the red pill?
It did. It took the red pill, and now it's down the rabbit hole.
Okay,
exactly.
Good.
Exactly. Anyway, that one's $2,600.
Okay.
It's a little more, but I would recommend it. If you can spend $2,000 to $3,000, I'd get the Samsung.
Yeah.
Why? Because Neo, among other things, in Samsung speak, refers to mini LED. Now, the backlight of all LCD TVs these days is an array of LEDs. The cheaper ones, the LEDs are around the edge of the screen. And as we've talked about before, I never recommend that. But in this case, it's a full array, local dimming, behind the screen LED backlight. And they're mini LEDs. They're smaller than usual. And so there are more of them. And the dimming zones are smaller, and there are more of them. And this is better. Generally speaking, better. Now, the rating site RTINGS, RTINGS.com, compares these two TVs and prefers the Samsung for its mini LED backlight and also for its what's called black uniformity. So if you're watching a space scene, for example, the black of space will look very uniform, more so than on the Sony. According to RTINGS.
Okay.
And that's it. That's important. Now, you're not going to want to necessarily watch a lot of space stuff flooded with bright light, because there is a reflection problem on just about any TV. If you've got a big bright window directly opposite your TV and you're sitting there trying to watch it, you've got a reflection of the window in the TV. And you're going to see that on dark scenes really, really well. So there's not much you can do about it. So, he's got to take that with a grain of salt. I
would also say, if you have a budget, don't just use the budget for the TV. Got to consider what you're going to do for audio, what you're going to do, to mount it. Just the TV by itself, what you're going to put it on. Maybe what you're going to paint the room. I mean, the TV, maybe even buy some curtains. The TV alone is not the whole experience.
Well, you're exactly right about that. And I was a little taken aback when he said, unable to block with curtains.
Yeah. What kind of light are we working with there?
Yeah, really. What kind of room is this? Why can't you put up curtains? That was a little strange to me, is you should be able to put curtains on just about any window.
This is the challenge. This is your assignment, should you choose to accept it. There will be no curtains.
There will be no curtains.
I got to say, if he's got direct sunlight shining in that window on the TV, I don't care what he buys.
It's going to be a problem.
Not going to be good.
It's going to be a problem.
Maybe put the TV against the windows. At least the windows will be behind the TV, right?
Well, talk about a bias light.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a little bit more than
But at least he'll see the screen.
Well, will he? There's so much light coming in from the window that his pupils will be so constricted.
That's a tough assignment. I don't think clearly OLED and plasma are going to be too dim for this.
Too dim. He's going to have to get an LED TV.
But let's not overstate the capabilities. I mean, it may not be able to overpower the light if it's shining directly in.
If it's shining directly on the TV, then nothing will.
So I suggest, and I think we should make a thing I've just invented in my mind called the TV hood, which you put over your TV, and then it goes, it's like a big blanket, basically. It could be a blanket.
That's great.
And it goes over behind your head, and then you're watching the TV in a little TV tent. Maybe we'll call it TV tent.
TV tent. Yeah. And here's another option to do that. Instead of putting it over the TV, wear one on your head.
There is, and we can ask Dick DeBartolo to show us because he has it.
Oh,
a TV hat.
There
it has a very long bill. It's about a foot or two out, and then you put your. It has a phone mount, or you just put the phone there, and you just wear the hat. I have it somewhere, and it, by the way, presaging our invention of the TV tent, does have like a little curtain that you can draw around your head,
put on the side,
so you look like an insane person walking down the street.
Now professionals use these tents around monitors on site.
Make it up.
So,
okay.
Now you didn't make it up.
Scott Wilkinson, home theater geek, TechHive.com. Thank you, Scott. We have a link, thanks to Scooter X, to the original TV hat.
Oh, that is ridiculous.
Oh, let's see. Got to see the TV hat.
I have it somewhere. I probably keep it at home where I use it all the time.
Look at that. Oh, my God.
Well, I don't know about the sexy model. That's not really the people who wear this. That's more like it. There you go. Driving down the street with his TV hat on.
Look at that. Wow.
They really had to put this woman in a bikini on her exerciser.
Yeah.
I don't think she's wearing the TV hat on the exerciser. I really don't.
Oh, my goodness. You can get a magnification lens for it.
In case you have a small phone. What? Oh, look at, see, they show it with an iPod.
Old iPod Nano.
That just shows you how old this thing is. Designed to block outside.
Oh, you could actually, I see. You put the iPod or the handheld device in the hat?
It's in the bill, yeah.
It's in the bill.
I have one somewhere, I think. Anyway, let's give Scott...
Oh, that's weird.
His due.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes. Scotty.
Hello, everyone.
All yours, my friend. Let me give you a big old clock.
The big old clock.
The big old clock. There it is. There's the big old... Oh, hey, go away. You're not part of this show. Neither are you. There we go. The big old clock driving along, Big Sur. All yours.
Big Sur. One of my favorite places in the world. And now I can take a day trip there.
You're practically there.
Santa Cruz is lovely. It's a little rainy today, but that's okay. We went and saw an amazing concert at Kuumbwa. You know the jazz club Kuumbwa?
Oh, yeah. That was there when I was there, the Kuumbwa Jazz Club. Wow.
It's celebrating its like 30th or 35th anniversary, something like that.
I remember Kuumbwa. Wow.
Well, we've seen Diane Reeves there. We saw an artist just the other night by the name of Omar Sosa. He's a Cuban pianist, and he had with him an African musician who plays an instrument called the kora, which is a sort of a double gourd-based harp, and a Venezuelan percussionist. And oh, man, they were so awesome. And I was thinking, and Joanna, my wife, was thinking the same thing. We were saying that in L.A., you know, we would have had to drive an hour to get somewhere to see a group like that.
You can just walk down.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. It's like 10 minutes away from our house.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, so...
And parking is easy. I know. It's nice if you have a small town where they actually have music. That's the...
Exactly. Well, and a lot of great musicians come through Santa Cruz to go to Kuumbwa, to play at Kuumbwa.
Yeah, that's nice. That's great.
So that was just so awesome. And we said, we get to live this life. We get to live here.
Very nice. Very nice. The Kuumbwa Jazz. Yeah, they were there when I was a kid.
Yeah, they just started up when...
It's more than 30 years. It's got to be.
Maybe it's 40, yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be because I remember it. And maybe it's just like, maybe this is kind of the second incarnation or something, but...
Well, yeah, let me look them up. Kuumbwa. Great name.
Yeah. I guess it could be that because my mom lived there until the early 90s, so it could just have been I saw it when I would go down to visit Mom. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, Mikah Sargent, tech guy 2, on the line. Our next call, and it is Scott in Binghamton, New York. Hi, Scott. Binghamton.
That's easy for you to say.
Binghamton. I know SUNY Binghamton. I know Binghamton.
Yes. Hi, Leo. Hi, Micah.
Hello.
Hey, I need from you a recommendation.
Do I still owe you money? Oh, okay.
No.
You scared
no.
me. Okay. I need my $60 that I lent you in 1972.
But I think you just got a Mac Studio, right?
I did. I love my Mac Studio, but it is no faster, ironically, than my 14-inch MacBook Pro or the M1 Macintosh first generation, the Mac Mini that I'm sitting right across from right now.
Well, I here a little bit ago bought the M1 Mac Mini, just the.
So here's the thing you should know. You may be tempted by the Studio because everybody's going, ooh. But the Studio M1 single-core performance is identical to that Mini that you have. Single-core is identical to that Mini you have. Those M1s all run at the same speed, clock speed. So the differences are with the new Studios, you can get more RAM, you can get more Thunderbolt ports, and if you're using the multi-core performance or the graphics performance, you certainly can go crazy. You can get the M1 Ultra, which has something like 130 billion transistors in it. I mean, it's crazy.
Right.
But most people would not notice a difference. I certainly don't.
Okay.
What do you do? What are you doing?
Well, I'm just doing the
the normal.
Yeah, the normal.
Not doing video editing, photo editing.
No.
Not compositing 3D images for your animated feature. None of that. Yeah, then you won't really be getting any benefit. I got my wife because she says, I want the fastest computer. I said, but you don't need it. I want the fastest. So I got her the Studio Max with the M1 Max in it. That's the top of the line.
Right.
And I set it all up for her. Then I got me just the regular M1 Pro. No, she has the Ultra. Sorry. I got the Max. This one is an M1 nothing. My laptop is an M1 Pro. So I think I have the full range M1, M1 Pro, M1 Max, and then M1 Ultra. All three. But for browsing, word processing, almost everything one normally does, they're the same. They're functionally the same. The only issue is how much RAM, how many additional little features, how many ports, for instance. Your Mini doesn't, my Mini, do not have a lot of ports.
Yeah. Okay, one last thing you can do for me, and
yes,
I need I think it's Thunderbolt. Will it drive a DisplayPort?
Yes. So you have a monitor that uses DisplayPort.
Right.
In fact, you want to, even on your M1 Mini, you want to get a Thunderbolt Type-C adapter to DisplayPort, because that's the only one that'll do 120 hertz refresh rate. So if you have a monitor that can do more, the HDMI ports on every single Mac,
they're
including
all 2.0,
they're
right?
all 2.0. They're all slow.
Right.
They're not the latest. I don't know what Apple was thinking. They've kind of screwed up on the display issue. So I am driving two displays off this M1 Mini, one over the HDMI port, one over the display port, using that, and it has to be a, specifically, Type-C Thunderbolt 2 DisplayPort cable, full-size DisplayPort cable. So I got mine from Cable Matters on Amazon. It's about $17.
Can you do me a favor and drop a link to that?
Sure can.
Because I'm having trouble. Beautiful.
Yeah, we were messing around. We had adapters. We tried, I have the Apple adapter. We tried all different stuff. And I think the problem was Mini DisplayPort is identical to Thunderbolt 2, and I think the adapters we were using were not display compatible. They didn't. this is very confusing nowadays because all the Type-C adapters look the same, but they could be USB 3, they could be USB 3.1, 3.2, they could be Thunderbolt 3, Thunderbolt 4, USB 4. You don't know. They could carry display, they could carry charge. You don't know unless they label it, and nobody labels it. So you just have to look at the specs carefully. And Apple with the displays is really kind of funny. So what are you thinking of getting, a Studio?
Well, like I say, I think the M1 Mac Mini is good enough
it's fine.
for me. But
you won't notice a difference.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah. I ended up getting all 4 just to see.
Right.
And, certainly if you're going to use graphics, if you've got something that uses multiple processors or graphics, it's going to make a difference for sure. And it's amazing what they've done. But essentially, all of them are kind of, it's the same chip. It's based on the iPhone A14 chip. And the clock speed is the same across the board. So Apple does a lot of hand waving, and their graphs are very hand wavy because they don't, they're kind of
they don't show you where
scant on detail. So it's really important to understand what you're getting and what you need. And I think you can easily overbuy on a Mac Studio. So if you needed 64 gigs or 128 gigs of RAM, then you would.
Right.
But who needs that?
That is one place I think I kind of undersold. I only got the 8 gig.
Yeah, I did get the 16 gig. I think 16 is sufficient for most uses. 8 might be a little low. Yeah. And you know what? Wait, because we're not done. Apple, in fact, the latest rumor is Apple's going to introduce something like 4 or 5 new Macs in June. They've already started testing them. We're seeing them in the databases. So there is this Mark Gurman, the big Bloomberg Apple guy, right? He's Mr. Rumor Man. What is he saying, Mikah? He's saying this is going to be the busiest year Apple's ever had.
Yep. Particularly with Macs, there are quite a few coming down the pipeline.
They're talking about 9 Macs or something like that.
Yes, this year, including a Mac Pro.
At least 9 new M2-based Macs.
Yeah.
But for most people, now, if you wanted a laptop, I would say it might be worth waiting to June to see what they do with the MacBook Air. Because it's going to be other things. It's going to be an M2, which isn't much faster, maybe 10, 20% faster. But it's going to be colors, I think. There'll be some interesting things they'll do with the M2. But honestly, because of, one of the things Apple's facing at this point, Shanghai is shut down because of COVID. Everything's stopped. They make a ton of stuff there, not just iPhones. They make the laptops there. They make a lot of stuff there. This is a big problem for Apple going forward. Yeah. So there may be some real shortages. They've already pushed the studios out to July. So there may be some chip shortages that Apple has to struggle with too. I think what you got is fine.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Just get the right cable. We'll put a link in the show notes. I went through this, suffered this. You saw me suffering.
Indeed.
Trying to get all the things working. There are a couple of good docks, too, that work with the Mini that will let you do that as well. But I like the idea. You've only got 2 Type-C ports on there. So I have one port going to a dock, which gives me all the other ports. Got that one from Anchor. That's a nice little dock. I'll give you a link to that. The other one goes to this display in front of me using DisplayPort. It's a Thunderbolt to DisplayPort. And then the other monitor is driven by the HDMI port. So we've maxed out. There's no room. That would be the one thing that you'd get with a Studio. You get lots more ports. Lots more ports. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number if you want to talk high tech. Mikah Sargent's here. He is our iOS and Mac expert, among other things. So he's a good person to ask these. You have a M1 Studio.
M1 Studio Max.
Max.
Yes.
Like me.
Yes.
Fine, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Now, you also got the Mac Studio display, and I have some questions about that. What do you think?
Well, as I've said, for me the display is everything. It's exactly what I want, and the bad webcam is sad, but I'm okay with not having that part of it.
Yeah.
I just wanted the display with the all-in-one.
And it's good looking display, and it's easy.
Beautiful
it sounds
display.
Good. Yeah. All right. Leo Laporte, Mikah Sargent, you're tech guys too. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I give to you the star of our show, Santa Claus. I forgot to say, did you have a Seder? Did you do a Seder?
We actually did. Our community in LA does what we call a sample Seder, or a it's about a
phony
week
Seder.
Yeah, a phony Seder.
Yeah,
a model Seder. That's what it's
called.
Model Seder.
Yeah. It's not Jewish.
Well, it is. Well, it is
Jewish-ish.
It's Jewish-ish. It's about a week before.
Model Seder is a good way to describe it.
Passover, so that those who might not have done one before, would know what it's about.
Yeah.
So we did that.
And you did that via Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how you've been doing it the last 3 years. Jeez,
afraid so. I don't know whether they'll do the New Year's celebrations remotely or not either.
Well, it's all up in the air now, and I know in
really
some areas it's coming back strong. So
I know.
I have a bookmark on my browser I check daily to see what Sonoma County's doing. We're okay so far, but the problem is hospitalizations and death lag. So you can't. Everybody's testing at home, so the testing results lag.
Right.
The really one thing that they have, which I like, is wastewater surveillance.
Yes.
Which does not lag, but.
It gives you the real.
I don't know if they have anything close
scoop,
to us.
So to speak.
Scoop. It's a scoop. It's a poop scoop, they tell you exactly, how much is in the water.
Yeah.
Which turns out to be a good indicator, better than testing, because nobody's testing. They're all testing at home, so
right.
Testings
and
are not
who's reporting those?
Right.
Very few.
But unfortunately, we don't have any. I see no data points for the sewage, so. Oh well, we're just gonna have to wing it. Santa Cruz is probably very similar, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
I've been going out and about without a mask. I kind of like it.
I have too. My wife has been masking up more than me.
Yeah, that's fine. I see both, and I think we are very accepting now. It's like, okay, whatever you like. Do you wear a mask, Mikah, when you walk around?
Oh, heavens, yes.
Everywhere, except here.
Yeah, not here. Yeah, not here. But if I go to the store or something like that, I wear a mask. Other people look at me sometimes.
Yeah, you're right, Mikah. You've got the right idea. I should do it more than I
should be clear. I'm not shaming anyone. I hope no one thinks.
No. I didn't feel that at all.
Okay, good.
I didn't. It's just your choice.
I
think it's a good choice.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
And it's just, I forget to put one in the car,
right,
or my pocket or whatever, and then I go, oh, I don't have one. I just need to put one in all the places I normally am so that I can just grab it and go, because I would.
Well, in fact, I forgot to mention, but I'm going to show you when we come back, the lady who does tiny origami has sent us some masks.
Are they tiny?
Oh, really? Origami masks?
No, but stay tuned.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
It is coffee time.
It's coffee time. You guys go get some coffee. So, hey, everybody. Nice to see you all. Oh, that's good. Mike B says, my synagogue has reopened and removed mask requirements except for when you're on the bima. Okay. So, but does that mean that the rabbi is masked when he or she is speaking? Certainly not the cantor, I would assume. That's very interesting. Ken Crayley asks, what's the difference between the Vizio M series and V series 4K TVs? The biggest difference, as I recall, is the number of LEDs behind the screen and the number of dimming zones. And I'm sure the M series gets brighter. M series has more LEDs, more dimming zones. But even then, the M series doesn't have that many. I think they have 90 dimming zones. My friend Pete Palomaki, a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the video that he has on YouTube, and I do recommend you go check it out. His YouTube handle is Nano Palomaki, NanoPalomaki. He's got a video where he actually deconstructs a Vizio, I think it's an M series, completely takes it apart and shows you the backlighting and the quantum dot film and all that stuff. It's really interesting. And I'm pretty sure it was an M series, and it has 180 LEDs in groups of 2, so 90 dimming zones. But the The V series, as I recall, probably doesn't have any more than 32 dimming zones. And you really want more dimming zones. You really do, because with a low number of dimming zones, if you have a very bright but very small object on an otherwise dark background, it will have blooming around it. You'll see a halo around it, and that's kind of distracting. Thank you, Chickenhead21. All is well with us. We are having a grand old time here. Swamp Rat has 4 COVID shots. We're getting our 4th probably later this month. We're actually going to my wife's nephew's wedding in Cleveland, Ohio. The first major trip we've taken since the pandemic started. And we will certainly mask on the plane and at the airport. I mean, I think it's still required, and rightly so, in my opinion. So we'll certainly be masking a lot on that trip, but that's in June. And we thought, you know what, let's get our 4th booster, or our 2nd booster, 4th shot, maybe a month or so before we go, so that it has sort of maximum effectiveness by then. So that's what we're planning to do. Thank you, Tech Dino. James, with so many players in the home theater audio electronics, how do you keep up? Well, if you're interested in something, you keep up. I get a lot of emails. I'm on a lot of lists that indicate, that send me news about stuff. So, Jim Allen, you have asked the question of questions. I had meant to mention that. I'm going to mention this for sure on next week's show. But you have asked me, you need to get your own show again. Your fans miss you. Any possibility of this happening? The answer is yes. In fact, the podcast is starting back up, and you heard it here first, folks. It is going to be under the auspices of AVS Forum. And it's going to start in a week and a half. So next Saturday, I will be making an announcement on the radio show about it and where you can tune in. So this is very exciting news. Very exciting news. Graveyard Tuba, you want it back? You got it. And the entire band isn't getting back together. It's going to be a new band. But I'm still going to be the lead singer, as it were, the front man, so to speak. And we're going to have guests like we did before, and I'm going to have some co-hosts now and again, and it's going to be great. Going to really be great. Let's see. Dr. McIntosh says, he's interested in the Samsung The Freestyle, which is a portable little projector, which I hadn't really heard too much about. You can, how can I remain in touch? You can email me. My email is scott@twit.tv. So that's pretty easy. And send me an email to that, and I'll let you know what I find out about it. James, exactly. Now we're talking. Mike asks, what TV do I currently have? It is a Sony 65-inch A1E. It's their first generation OLED, and so therefore it's several years old. But it still looks great. It looks fantastic. Soon I will get a new one, but for now, that
someday I will get a new TV. Thank you, Scott.
My pleasure, Leo.
Have a good
Next week, I'm announcing the return of my podcast.
What's it called?
AVS Forum Tech Talk.
Oh, nice! Yay! Well, hey! How are you today, Leo Laporte here? Mikah. Now, after I say that, you say Mikah Sargent here.
Oh, Mikah Sargent here. Tech guy too.
That's confusing. Leo Laporte here, Mikah Sargent there? No, that makes no sense either.
Mikah Sargent also here.
There's the two of us, as there has been on Saturdays now. I got a little package from Michigan, from Tiny Gami. This is you. Were you? I don't think you were around when she called. Stacy has Tiny Gami, little tiny teeny weeny origami she makes.
So cute.
Isn't it? I have a lot of it at tinyGAMI.com. And I guess she's doing masks now because she sent us a whole bunch of masks. And I think she was thinking of you because there's some stuff that you might like in here, too. So, Stacy, thank you. Token of appreciation for all the Etsy orders I've received from your listeners.
Aww.
So, she said, I thought I should send one to you, Lisa, and Mikah, which of course led to my kids, Abby and Henry, which led to Kim, which led to everyone in your studio.
Oh, that's so
she's
sweet.
put names on them all and so forth. But look at the one she sent me. It has a computer
that's
circuit
so
board
cool.
on there. Yeah. And I think Lisa must
Definitely
be the
Lisa.
49ers one, yeah. And who's for the cocktails? Oh, Kim, you get cocktails. I don't know. It's got, oh, that's cute. The Mai Tai recipes. Let's see. This is for my son, Salt Hank.
Neat.
It's got cleavers and tenderizers on it. He's the TikTok star. And then the kitty cat's got to be for Lisa. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. She's very thoughtful.
That's
Thank you.
so sweet.
Thank you, Stacy.
Personalized and everything.
Well, that's another computer one. That's for John. He runs the studio and the board. And this one is for you, Mikah. You get a computer. You get a computer mask. Oh, and Michael's going to love the Green Bay Packers mask. Thank you, Stacy. That's very sweet of you. Very, very sweet of you. 8888. Ask Leo. Here's one for Jennifer. It's tacos. Yes, she does like tacos, Stacy. And
Jennifer?
Yeah. My Jennifer, my ex.
Okay.
The mother of my children.
I didn't know my
Or
mic
as the
was on.
children say, the baby mama, right? Is that what they say?
That is what they say.
My baby mama.
I don't know if you should say it, but that's what they say.
We're very close. We're very close. And she does love tacos. So I will make sure she gets that. And Burke gets wrenches. Wow, this is really...
That is so sweet. That they're all customized and everything.
Yeah. Thank you, Stacy. You're very sweet.
I'm going to be ordering some Tiny Gami.
I don't know if she
Especially
makes
if you make
masks.
tiny dogs.
Or if she just does this for fun.
Oh, no. I want a tiny little chihuahua.
No, she was selling them.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very nice
We had a
masks.
very long conversation about it, and she asked me what people would like. So
that's how she knows?
Part of that is me.
Oh, thank
good work on your part,
Thank
too,
you.
Kim.
You can come get your Mai Tai mask anytime. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. We'll go back to the phones here. Let's see. Very patient. Thank you, Dave. Also from Binghamton, New York. What are the odds of that? That's great.
Yeah,
welcome.
Nice Binghamton. Thank you. Yeah, nice little Binghamton bookend for the top of the hour.
A Binghamton bookend. What can we do for you?
So I'm calling because I'm having an issue with Google handling a negative review for a different business on my account.
Oh, how annoying. This is so annoying because this review system is so easily gamed. So Yelp, Google reviews, all of the other review sites, it is not at all uncommon for competitors to come in there. Or maybe you just look, every business gets one disgruntled customer who, maybe you made her wear a mask and she's decided to go nuclear on you. I'm so sorry. So what recourse have you tried?
Well, so it's my first review ever. I just created the...
Oh, it's your review. You're leaving a review. No.
No.
Oh, it's first review for your business. Yeah. Got it.
Correct. Yep. And so it's a co-retail store, so different businesses rent space in this building. And the person reviewed cards they reviewed the business that's to the right of me.
Yeah. As you.
And correct.
Oh, so it's not even a review of you.
Correct.
Oh.
And when I wrote, I wrote to Google using their form saying this is it does not meet the policies because it's a false review, and they denied that, and I appealed it, and they denied it, and there's no further appeal on that portion. I did go to the community, and there's not much community members there can do, I don't believe. But I'm trying to figure out if like a reputation, those reputation websites that say they can help would be worth it. But being the first review at 2 stars about something that's not me is annoying, and for them to say, oh no, it's not fake. And I used an example when I even reached out on Twitter to the Google My Biz people or small business people. They said, I was like, so it's okay for someone to review Burger King on a McDonald's page? Is that how they're...
You're in the right. Mm-hmm. But also Google, unfortunately, and they're in the wrong. I'll say it. But what can you do? What can you do? I mean, you're kind of... This is the problem with the power of these companies. If you have a bad review on Google, that's troubling. But if they refuse to review it, I don't know, who do you appeal to? There's no Supreme Court. It's a private business, and private businesses, can do as they wish, even if they're in the wrong. You could sue them for defamation. I mean, you could go after them. I don't think you want to do that. Trust me. I don't know if you've ever gone to court over anything. Yeah. Here's what I would suggest. I would say get a lot of other people to review your business. And those good reviews will swamp that one negative review. And you might even, do they allow you to post a rebuttal?
You can respond to it, which I did. And I said,
just say, this isn't my business. This is an error. And I think any sensible person's going to see that and say, oh. But the next thing to do is, if that's the only review on your site, or on the Google business profiles, that's the problem. Go get some more reviews. And by the way, most people look at Yelp, not Google.
Right.
On the other hand,
I'm just concerned if I reach out to people and a bunch of my friends put positive reviews in a short amount of time.
Yeah, no. So let's fight fire with fire. I think it's completely okay to just go to your friends or go to Facebook and say, hey, we've got this one review of our store. We think we're good if you come in. Or do people come into your store, or is it mail order?
No, they do come into the business.
Okay.
It's, so how the co-retail works is you rent space and they...
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. You see, you have one big space and there's a booth next to you got a bad review. Yeah. And Google says, well, you're all the same address, so that's your business. Yeah, that's the problem with this. The real problem with all of these, Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, they're so big that there aren't enough humans in the world to do this, customer service. So it's mostly done in an automated fashion. And then if it is reviewed by a human, the human's reviewing 1,000, requests a day. And so they go fast. So he looks at the addresses, same address. Come on, give me a break, dude. And he rejects it. That's a flaw in their process. I'm not going to give him a pass. That's bad. People who listen to this should now consider, when you read reviews, I think this has always been the case on Yelp, Google, or anywhere, Amazon especially, to take everything with a grain of salt. You're going to look at the bulk of reviews, not any individual review. And I think it's okay for you to put a sign up in your store saying, please do us a favor, review us on Google. I know I have stores that there are services that you can subscribe to, text-based messaging services, whereas somebody leaves your store, they get a text message saying, how is our service? We have a sponsor, Podium, that does this. It's not, I think they have a free tier. How is our service? Leave us a review on Google or Yelp. So there's things you can do to encourage reviews, which you should do.
Right.
I know in these co-location situations, you probably don't get dozens of customers a day. But you could put a little sign up on your booth that says, help us. We have a bad review. We need good reviews. If you like what we've got, what do you sell?
I mostly do Funko Pops.
Awesome.
And actually, I think a Leo Funko Pop would be pretty interesting.
I have to talk the Funko Pops into doing it. Yeah, they're those big heads. They're like bobble heads, but they're not quite.
Oh, do you do custom ones, or do you just procure them?
So I buy wholesale from a distributor and I sell them, and then I buy other people's collections and I'll sell. So if there's higher priced ones in my shop. It's normally one that I bought from someone else at a collection. So I do retail stuff, so it's retail price, but I also will buy.
What's the name of the store? Do you have a name for your business?
Yeah, BAI Collectibles.
BAI Collectibles. Everybody leave a review for how great. Now, see, this is risky because there'll be a troll out there who'll say, oh, yeah, sure, I'll leave him a review. I'll show you.
That was my concern.
Do it with friends. It's okay to do it with friends. It really is. Just, don't do it all at once. And have them be customers, Say, I got a great Funko Pop, and what a deal, and I just sold it for twice the value. I'm rich.
All right, I appreciate it.
I'm sorry that happened. Yeah, it's very, this is a universal problem. I don't know if you remember, we had a woman call who was having trouble with her Google email. She said, I went to the Google office in Irvine, and I pounded on their door.
Oh, God.
But nobody answered because it's a machine. We're all being chewed up in this giant big tech machine. And I think it's important to realize, listening to this, when you read reviews, understand that's the system. And so keep it in mind. I'm sorry that happened to you. I apologize, Dave. On behalf of Google, nothing I can do, unfortunately. I don't have any ins there, but I'm sorry. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, and Mikah too. We got to work that out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
I'll go Leo Laporte and Mikah.
Is that how I sound?
No. This is the one that sounds just like Mr. Big Shot. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Did you tell Professor Laura to play Wolfbeck?
I did not tell. I asked Professor Laura to play.
She very kindly. This is your favorite. This is your favorite. Is it a band or an artist?
It's a band. It's a band.
It's not Mr. Wolfpack.
It's a group.
It's a group of Wolfpacks. A peck, if you will.
It's so funky. I just love it.
No, this is good. I like it. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
And Mikah Sargent, tech guy as well.
Also, Molly is on the line from Glendale, California. Hello, Molly.
Okay, I was just going crazy listening to this before, but then I just got so annoyed I had to pick up the phone and call because he doesn't need to do all of that and ask permission.
Oh, good. What can he do?
So he can just flag the review for being unrelated to that business, and then the bots will remove it.
And where does he flag that review?
There's just like a little symbol, like a flag symbol on the review.
On your computer, do it in Google Maps or in Google Search. I see there is that. Now, I don't know if he did that. You're right. So let's make sure he did do that. You can go into your account as well and flag a review. He says he's had it reviewed 3 times and they've rejected him each time. But that's a good point. You can do it on the web. There is a request.
Flagging it for the wrong reason. For a different reason, because there's a list of reasons.
Yeah, make sure and the reason is, what is the reason you suggest?
Well, I think that it's unrelated to the business.
Unrelated to the business.
Just try a different one because it's bots. It's not.
It is bots. Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Molly. Have you had a bad review of your business on Google? Do you know this?
No, but I always go to small towns and then I see stuff that doesn't make sense and I try to fix it for the little business.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you. Thank you. That's great.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Molly. See, this is where we're all in this together.
Uh-huh.
There you go. Flag it, baby. Dan from Encinitas, California is next. Hey, Dan.
Hi, Leo. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, I got a question. I got a Franklin T10 mobile hotspot, and it doesn't have much range to it. And I want to use a couple other devices, but they can't be all next to each other.
That's weird. That's weird. And who's it connect? What is it? T-Mobile?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they sell this. So you're saying the range isn't good, and you can't have devices next to each other doing it?
What I mean is I have a lot of devices. Not all of those devices I want in the same spot, and the mobile hotspot doesn't seem to extend very far for its Wi-Fi. I was wondering, is there a way to extend that?
That's an interesting question. So this is what I sometimes call these MiFi cards. This one is a little more like a box, but it's roughly the size of a credit card. The idea is it gets its internet connectivity from the carrier, the mobile carrier, the LTE signal from T-Mobile in this case.
Correct.
And then it becomes a Wi-Fi hotspot. Often those are limited to 5. You know, honestly, T-Mobile is, like all carriers, doesn't want you to use this as your internet access. So you pay extra, they have limitations on it and stuff. But I don't, if the antenna, and it's not very big, if the antenna's not doing the job.
Yeah, there's no external
yeah, so this is, how do you feel about brain surgery?
Like taking it apart?
Yeah, so the only way I would know of to extend it is to take it apart. I don't know if this is still true. I don't think that the standard has changed. Every Wi-Fi radio has to have a connector on it that you can use for an external antenna. So inside there'll be a circuit board, and antennas, there are internal antennas, will be connected to it. Now the problem is each Wi-Fi chip has a different kind of connector. I don't know why they did that, but they did when they set up the spec. So you'll have to order an antenna from somebody like AntennaWeb, or actually my favorite for this stuff is Radiolab. And Radiolabs, plural, may have something that would extend it without opening it up. But you can get the little tails from them that match. When you open it up, you'll see the chip, and it'll say what kind of chip it is. And you have to get it by chip if it's Arthros or whoever. And then you get the tail and then have an external antenna. And that certainly would improve it.
So there's no way to, get a Wi-Fi.
Like a repeater? Yeah, in theory. My experience with those is not great, but they sell those too. Go to radiolabs.com.
Okay.
And you'll see a variety of ways to solve this.
All right.
Including Wi-Fi boosters. Generally speaking, what I tell people is it's probably better to get an external antenna. Because you can see, I mean, this thing, it's got an antenna in there, but of course it doesn't go very far. It's inside and it's small. Yeah, but you could also get a Wi-Fi extender that would extend it. You'd have to get one that would match it. I would definitely go to Radiolabs and see what they've got.
The reason I'm using it is because it's in a rural area, not Encinitas, but a rural area, and there's really limited internet.
Yeah. No, I understand why. T-Mobile now sells residential. You should check into that, too. They are designed for this. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. The Franklin T9 has hidden antenna ports. Look at that. Come on, chat room. Come on.
That was for the T9, though, not the T10. That's the only problem. But they're probably similar.
Yeah. It's worth...
I've got links for that.
Looking. Yeah, so you need to know what connector it is, and then you can get... You have to open it up, which is probably glued. It doesn't look like it's screwed together. So you open it up, and then you put the little tail on it. It's actually just like a coax, like a tiny coax. You turn it and remove it, and then you can have external antennas. You're right. An external extender might work okay. The other thing you could do is call T-Mobile and say, I don't like this T10. What do you got? What else you got? Because that's not the only one they sell, I'm sure. Franklin T10. It's their entry-level mobile hotspot. Dual band Wi-Fi 5, USB-C charging, which is nice. Look at this on eBay. Franklin T10 mobile hotspot, passive external antenna adapter, $14.99. I will put this.
Nice.
I will put this in the show notes unless somebody already has. So it's made for the T10. You see, if you look, they have the same seller has tails for the Verizon Jetpack and all the Netgear Air Card, and they all have different tails, which is really annoying. So this is an inductive antenna. So this is actually quite clever. So inductive passive external antenna adapter with FME male connector. Connect your device to the antenna. Yeah, this sounds like it's good. And then you could put a Yagi. This is not the antenna. This is just the connector. And it says it's inductive. So you put it like on the box. Yeah, this'll do. This is good. That'll do, pig. That'll do. So I should be careful using that. Not everybody knows that is from...
From what, Babe?
Babe, the pig. And they think I'm calling them a pig, which I'm not.
Right.
So the farmer was calling Babe a pig. That'll do. I could just say that'll do, but then nobody would get it unless I say that'll do, pig. I should probably get a that'll do, pig sound effect. You probably know that, Johnny Jet, because I bet you Jack has seen Babe and loves it.
He has not.
What? He's the age. He's Babe age.
He likes cartoons.
Yeah. You got to wean him off of that stuff.
Listen, this kid knows more than we do about marine life. It's incredible. He's been watching Octonauts.
Nice. What'd you say, Johnny? Yeah?
I said, buy your tickets.
If you're going anywhere, you ought to buy your ticket now. Johnny Jet is here. JohnnyJet.com/newsletter. I told Johnny we have a TWiT cruise, a podcast network cruise for all of our fans coming up to Alaska, July 16th through 23rd. And I said, Johnny, that means I probably should buy my ticket to Seattle now. And what'd you say?
I said you should have bought them 2 months ago.
It's too late? No.
It's not too... I mean, it's too late for the good deals. Yes, it is. But you can still buy them because their tickets are still going to go up.
Oh, so it's never going to get cheaper. Didn't it used to kind of fluctuate depending on how well they'd sold and stuff like that?
Definitely. But if you fly midweek, you'll definitely get a much better deal. Also,
wait a minute. That's contrary to what it used to be. Because it used to be you would buy a ticket to go over the weekend because the business travelers didn't go over the weekend. Now you're saying buy midweek.
Well, in the old days, you had to spend the Saturday night. That was to get the business travelers. They got rid of that.
Oh, that's long gone.
Although some cities in Europe, they haven't.
Okay.
But that's why in Europe, you can buy a round-trip ticket and just throw away the return. If you're going, let's say, from Rome to Paris, buy a round trip instead of a one-way.
I'm not going
to them all out.
I'm going to Seattle, man.
Okay, so if you're going to Seattle, go on a Tuesday or Wednesday. And, whenever you go on a cruise.
Why is it better to go on a Tuesday or Wednesday?
Because that's the least amount of travelers.
So the planes are more likely empty, so they'll get a better deal.
Well, and they're not flying as many. Definitely.
Right.
I mean, just you can look at the TSA checkpoint numbers.
Yes.
Every day they post them at like 7 a.m. Eastern time. Yes. So yesterday, 2.3 million went through. 3 years ago, the same exact day, 2.4. We're almost there. And keep in mind, there's not as many business travelers or international travelers, so it's going to keep going up.
Okay. So if anybody wants to go on this cruise, by the way, cruise.twit.tv. It's going to be Alaska cruise. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be there with my wife. One of our hosts from Windows Weekly, Paul Thurrott, and his wife, and a bunch, I think about 100 other people. But some people canceled, as, sometimes happens. They had reservations. So we have it turns out we got a couple extra rooms, which is great.
Good.
But you're saying I should go how should I buy that ticket?
Well, if you're going on whenever you're going on a cruise or anything important, you got to go 1 to 2 days earlier. At least 2 days, I would say.
In case.
Especially if you're traveling internationally.
Yeah. Because otherwise, I could say, honey, hop in the car. We got to drive to Seattle tonight. But I'm not going to do that.
You don't want to do that. But,
no.
But there's cases where people, the cruise will not wait for you.
No, I know. They're not going to hold up the boat.
So go in a couple days early
here yet.
And check out the port city first.
Yeah, Seattle's a great city. Yeah.
And if you're on a time zone change, you get accustomed to it.
So we always do that. We go a few days early.
Definitely.
Just to see the sights. Now, this is a cruise, let's see, July 16th.
It's probably a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. So we should go out, you're saying Wednesday? Or Thursday? Would Thursday work?
I mean, you're the host. You definitely, Thursday's fine.
Okay.
Because you're only flying an hour and a half.
Yeah, and if something happened, I could drive.
Definitely.
Be kind of hectic, but
is the assumption here that because you're going on a cruise, you have the money to pay for a hotel leading up to the cruise for 2 days?
That's right. In fact, cruise travelers often, the package, sometimes you can add a pre and post cruise in the city. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Like we're going to go to next year, I think we're going to Lisbon for a cruise. I want to spend some time. I don't want to just arrive in Lisbon and jump on a boat.
Right.
I want to spend some. It's Lisbon, right?
For sure.
Okay.
I've gone out of Lisbon many times. But also, if you are flying to Seattle, look at Avelo Airlines. I mentioned them before. I don't know if they fly. I know they don't fly to SeaTac, but they do fly to, I think, Tacoma, to a secondary airport, which I'm not even familiar with. I know from LA they do, and you can get them for cheap. But the mainline carriers are going to charge premium right now. I mean, I was going to fly from New York to Nantucket in June, and it was $460, I think, or $450 for 4 tickets. I just looked today; it's over $1,000.
Wow!
I didn't buy them, and I'm not going now.
Yeah,
So that's the point.
So, okay, and that's that because fuel prices, right? They're through the roof.
No, it's supply and demand. It really doesn't have a lot to do with fuel. Fuel is going to add to it, but it's supply and demand. So many people have been cooped up for the last 2 years. They want to get out, see their families. They want to travel. They want to get out of their home. So, and the airlines have cut back space flights, and they don't have enough workers. There's so many. It's tough to get people to work right now, especially in the airline industry and pilots. I mean, this is going to be a problem for years with pilots. They don't have enough, especially the smaller regional jets, regional carriers.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. If I was flying, I'm actually going to write a post today for the summer travel. Make sure you book the first flight out in the morning. So avoid thunderstorms, avoid the domino effect of delays. Also avoid towards the end of the month, because that's when a lot of the crew time out. They don't need to work, and these guys are exhausted. Their layovers are shorter. People are meaner, and the pay is not great.
People are meaner. They're mean.
They are, and so keep that in mind. Okay.
Okay.
And also set a fare alert. I talked about it. I'll tweet it out. I have a whole list of tips on how to find cheap deals. But setting a fare alert is a great deal. So do San Francisco or Oakland to Seattle and put in the day you want or the airlines you want, and then it'll alert you when the price goes up or down.
I have to say, this has all changed so much. First, the airlines had computers, but now we have computers. And so it's parity now. We can fight fire with fire. And so we can use our computers to try to even the score. I wonder, though, a lot of times young people these days, they don't buy a computer because they've got their phone. You can do all the same thing on the phone that you can do, I guess?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean,
with apps
there's so many apps out there.
Yeah.
Hopper's a popular app for booking flights. Yep.
Okay.
Also, I like Scott's Cheap Flights, not to book flights, but what they do is they tell you when the price goes down. So you can you sign up to their premium alerts. I mean, they also offer a free one, but you put it in San Francisco. And so whenever there's a deal from San Francisco, wherever it is, they'll let you know by email. And then they'll have you book it through like Google Flights. And which Google Flights then will have you book it directly through the airline. And you want to book through the airline because if there is a problem, you don't have to go through a third party. But ideally, you want to go through a travel agent. That way, being on hold for hours, like it's been going on, and they don't have enough reservation agents, a good travel agent will do that dirty work for you. I
love my travel agent, but I feel guilty sometimes using her for just like flights and hotels, because I feel like she probably doesn't make a lot of money.
Ask her.
I could ask her.
I bet you she would be appreciative of it.
Yeah. It's like,
especially because you're a good customer.
Right. Well, see, and I know she probably makes a lot of money on a cruise. So we always
make money on hotels. They make money on hotels. They don't make money on airlines.
Not on airlines, so don't get...
No. So that's why they usually charge you a fee. They usually charge you $25 to $40 depending on the travel agency.
She's so nice. She doesn't charge us.
Well, she should charge you.
Listen.
Especially if she has to get on the phone.
She's doing it wrong.
But these days, I no longer book anything myself. I go through her because I just feel like it's safer to have that person. And she works for travel stores, so there are other agents. If she's not around, there are other agents. Like there's a
24/7 on call.
Yeah.
They're 24/7.
I like that.
So, and that's what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
And online doesn't always have the answers. So that's why they say pick up the phone. If I'm booking a mileage ticket, I'm trying to get to, Sardinia in Italy. I'm just going to say, hey, can you get me business class to the mainland Europe? Find me any city. You can't really do that online. Get me to Paris. Get me to Rome. I'll find a train, a ferry, however, or a low fare carrier on my own.
Okay. Hey, what happened with Spirit? Did they get bought?
No. So JetBlue put a counter bid in, which for $3.6 billion, and
you could buy 10% of Twitter for that. Wow.
Well, because originally, Frontier and Spirit were going to merge.
Right.
But now that's on hold because of JetBlue. And JetBlue is really falling apart lately. They don't have enough. They have actually had to cut 10%, 8 to 10% of their flights for the summer because they don't have enough staff.
That's a problem everywhere. That's another kettle of fish. JohnnyJet.com is his website. All this stuff is there. His newsletters are free and great. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram, and, of course, every week right here. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
That's another fine kettle of fish. So good news. I'm looking, and the Seattle round trip is $275.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, they're not gouging us yet.
So the reason why is because there's so much competition and so many flights.
Well, and this is from our Santa Rosa airport, which is nice. It's right up the. It's
so
close.
That's in Alaska.
Alaska. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about Alaska.
So grab that right now.
Snatch it. Snatch it up.
Yeah. Don't. It's not going to go down.
Not going to go down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So seriously,
he's pushing the button.
I can't. I have to check with a little woman. How many days she wants to?
So you have 24 hours to cancel it. So you buy it now. If she says no, then you cancel it within 24 hours. And that's the rule by the DOT. As long as it's 7 days or later.
So if we leave, this is interesting. If we left
from the U.S.,
if we left at 12 noon, it's $465. If we leave at 4:49 p.m., it's $275. It's cheaper. That's weird.
You would think it would be the other way around.
You would think, but I think we should leave then.
But the problem with leaving in the evening, is that there's a domino effect with try and take the early morning flight out. So yesterday, my sister flew from West Palm Beach to New York to go to a dinner party.
Yeah,
and I said, listen. They're having all kinds of problems in Florida. You got to leave the first flight out.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not getting up. I'm not taking a 7 o'clock flight. Well, guess what? That 7 o'clock flight went on time. She won the 12 something that was delayed by 2.5 hours. She showed up late to the party. And I said, so listen, you got to decide. Do you want to get up early or do you want to and make your event and save money? It's usually cheaper early in the morning.
Yeah. Wow, for $450 more, I can get free seat selection.
How much more?
$450 more.
Oh, dear God.
And 2 free checked bags. Otherwise, it's $60.
That's first class.
Yeah, it's first class.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, on those regional jets, it's not a big difference.
I know. What do you get?
But if you're checking 2 bags each.
Well, that's the thing. The bags, it might make a difference.
If you're checking 2 bags, it gives you a little bit more space.
It's a cruise. First check bag, $60.
My recommendation on cruises is not to
bring too much.
No, and you don't want to leave your bags out the night before.
Wear shorts.
Your cabin door.
You don't? I always do that.
No, I know, but
they tell you to do that.
I know they do, but that's so easy for a thief to grab stuff.
Who's a thief? You're on a boat. Who's going to be a thief?
You'd be surprised, and flying too. I see people, falling asleep with their carry-ons above them with full of money and stuff. Those do get targeted. Especially on long haul flights when people are sleeping.
I roll my money up and hold it between my legs. Is that safe?
Definitely.
No, I don't.
No one's going to touch that.
No, I don't.
Not even Lisa.
You are a paranoid human being. That's all I can say. I put it in my shoe. That's the place to put your money. Johnny, thank you. I hope Olivia feels a little better.
Yeah, she's feeling better today.
Oh, good. Okay, colds are worst.
I didn't even talk about what I wanted to talk about. 2 websites, but I'll do them next week.
Is that my fault?
No, it's
Did I
not
blow
at all.
it? Did I talk too much?
It's not anything time sensitive.
Okay, next week we're going to count on it, and I won't say a word.
It's okay.
All right.
Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
See you guys.
Those aren't pillows. Did you request this as well?
I did not, but I did say we should be funky today.
We are funky. We are your funky techno twins. I'm Leo Laporte.
And I'm Mikah Sargent.
And we go back to the phones, 8888 Ask Leo. Albo's on the line from Montebello, California. Hello, Albo.
Hey, Leo, second-time caller, long-time listener.
Welcome back. Good to have you.
Thank you. There's a push on this iPhone Total AV antivirus, which costs $3.
No.
All over the internet. They should get it today.
No, you should never get it, ever, ever, ever.
I didn't think so.
No. That's why they're pushing it. Buy now. You'll never get a deal this good. But you don't need an antivirus on the iPhone.
Today is the last day, to get it.
Yeah. No, the way mobile devices, the good news is mobile devices, both Android and iOS, were designed in a more modern era. The problem is older operating systems like Windows, Mac, were designed in an era where they weren't so careful, frankly, about viruses. Now, we know, right, the risks we're running, and especially with a mobile device. So both mobile platforms are much, much more secure, Apple especially. So the only way you could get a virus on an iOS device is if something got by Apple in the App Store that had malicious content in it. And that does happen from time to time. But the antivirus isn't going to find it. If Apple doesn't know about it, the antivirus sure doesn't. The minute Apple learns of it, they immediately fix it. They take it. They'll actually take it off your device if they have to. They'll stop it immediately. And these are very rare incidents. There's no really other thing to worry about unless you are a diplomat for a country or perhaps a spy or a celebrity. Maybe they should take more precautions. It wouldn't be an antivirus. It would be other things they could do. But unless you're the target of an attack, you're fine. You're safe.
The reason I ask is a few years ago, I got ransomware on my laptop, my HP laptop.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's terrible. And that's
really bad.
Yeah, that's a different matter because, that's Windows. And as we know, ransomware is a big problem. I don't generally use antiviruses, but I have to say, and for years I've said, don't get an antivirus. Windows comes with an antivirus that's probably pretty good. But if you are doing risky things, or worse, if you have a teenager using your computer, or you're just not careful, an antivirus is just a little backstop, a little help. It's often not going to catch the worst stuff. For instance, that ransomware that you got, even if you were running an antivirus, you may still have gotten it because these are mostly brand new infections nothing knows about. Did you have an antivirus at the time?
No, I didn't. But since then, I had purchased Avast.
Yeah,
and it's kind of working. I'm not really sure if it's working.
See, here's my question: Would that have stopped that ransomware? Maybe if it were an old attack that it knew about. But a lot of way viruses spread these days, like wildfire, they're often what we call 0 days. The attacks happen before anybody knows about them, which means the antivirus companies don't know about them, which means they're not protecting you. They might protect you against some kinds of suspicious activity, but often antiviruses fail. And really, the real risk of having an antivirus is that you might say, "Oh, I'm safe. I'm invulnerable. Let me go out. I can do anything I want now."
Never.
Yeah, now.
Well, the ransom got so bad that Chase shut down my accounts.
Yikes!
Wow.
Yeah, and so I had to go into the bank, spent 3 hours, 4 hours changing every single account number and ATM card. And the only numbers that didn't change were my mortgage loan company, mortgage loan numbers. Those were the only numbers that didn't change. Everything else changed.
But they did that to protect you, you understand, because...
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, they were concerned your bank account could be drained.
That's how bad...
Yeah, it's terrible.
Then it was. And so I had to remember all these new credit card names and numbers. And
did they lock up your data as well? Did they ask for money to unlock your data?
They did at one point, but they still left it open, and I didn't respond. And by the next, they just totally shut down my computer.
Jerks.
Yeah,
jerks.
And I had a lot of information on that computer, and I just can't access it anymore. I even tried taking the hard drive out and connecting it to a device where I can look to see what's on the hard drive. You can't even do that. Couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
So I was really bummed, really, really bummed.
Well, now you have backup, right? Yeah, you better get some backup. You don't want to do this again.
I got to do that. I'm sorry, yeah.
You have to apologize to me. But it'd probably be a good idea. If you had a backup at that point, you wouldn't have to worry about it, right?
Yeah. What's that one that you guys...
iDrive for years was a sponsor. They're not currently, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't recommend them. They're good.
Right, iDrive. On it today. We'll get it today.
Good man.
Good for you.
And and save your $3.99. Actually, that's about a year of iDrive, so you're good. Don't get anything on your iPhone. You don't need it.
I didn't think so. That's why I called.
And of course, that's why they do that. You know, you only have $3.99, but today only. Hurry up! Because if you thought about it, or you had the sense to call and ask somebody, you'd say, "No, I don't need that." You don't run an antivirus on any of your stuff, do you?
Oh, heavens no. I will say occasionally on my MacBook Pro I will download, I can't think of what it's called now, but
there's good security software. There's Lulu, which is free from Objective-C, SEE. We'll put a link in the show notes. That marches outbound traffic to see if something's gotten on your system that's calling home, because that's how ransomware works. That's how a lot of malware works. The same guy, Patrick Wardle, who's a great Mac programmer and does a lot of good out of the goodness of his own heart. He asks for donations, but everything's free. Is Knock Knock. He has a thing called Knock Knock. And I think that's a wonderful tool because it tells you can't always see everything that's loading when you turn on a computer. Now, unfortunately, Knock Knock is Mac only, but it will tell you and show you all the things that load when you turn on your computer. Some of those may be things you don't want.
Yep, it's very handy. I just that's basically what I do is every once in a while I'll go through and do kind of a look through things. And I was running Knock Knock and saw some things that they weren't bad. They weren't nefarious.
Yeah, but you want to know about it.
I didn't know that this login item was installed.
What are you loading?
Yeah, what you thinking about?
And Microsoft offers something similar for Windows users. It's from their sysinternals collection of software. This is Mark Rusinovich, who is in charge of Azure now, but he was a very prolific programmer and wrote a lot of wonderful tools for Windows. He's actually a novelist, too. He writes spy novels. But Mark has a program called Process Explorer and Process Monitor, which is his sister program, that will tell you what's running. And what it's up to, and so very similar. All of the utilities from Microsoft's sysinternals group are great, so you can look at all of those, and they're all free as well. That's sysinternals Microsoft.com. He's been doing that since 1996. There's people like Mark Rusinovich and Patrick Wardle, who I think really. You know, you and I care about people, and we do the best we can to help them and explain stuff to them. But these guys actually put their coding prowess where their mouth is, and they go out and write tools that are fantastic. Fantastic.
We recommend their tools.
Yeah, that's our job.
Yeah.
We can't write them, but we can recommend them. Thank you, Patrick and Mark. You guys do great stuff. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. Next hour, Dick DeBartolo stops by. I just got my copy. Did you get your copy?
I did get my
autographed copy of the Next Mad magazine with The Rock. I don't know why The Rock's on it, but he's on the cover. And we'll talk to Dick DeBartolo, find out how you can get an autographed copy of Mad Magazine, and find out what his gizmo or gadget of the week is. I still have the little Atari game machine that you, thank you, went to Target to get for me.
Oh,
right?
You're so
Is that
welcome.
where you got it, Target?
Yep, Target. Yeah. I placed an order while we were doing the show, and it was ready for pickup a little later that day.
So cute. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. Website, we've been mentioning a couple of things, including sysinternals. We'll put links at the website, techguylabs.com. That's kind of a new website. We've moved over there. It's the podcast site. But links go up there, a transcript of the show with time codes, audio and video, all of that will be there. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Yeah, da 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 da. Steve Gibson says he sends stuff sometimes now to VirusTotal. So before you install software, you send it to VirusTotal. It looks at the connections that the software makes, and you'll know ahead of time. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Steve says he's been doing that. I'm not sure how complete VirusTotal is, but it's certainly, all of these things are kind of like better than nothing. VirusTotal is a website created by the Spanish company, VirusTotal. No, I don't know what their name is. Hispasec Sistemas. Google now owns it. Wait a minute. Nope. Google owned it briefly, and then now Chronicle, which is a subsidiary of Google, owns it. So it's Googly, Googlicious.
Google-esque.
And you can choose a file, submit it, and it will analyze it. That's probably the best, least intrusive way to kind of before you install it. I wonder if though it accepts non-Windows stuff.
Oh, there's even an API.
So yeah, look at that. You can use your Python skills. Let me upload my. This will be interesting.
Oh, your shot clock?
My shot clock. Shot clock, yeah. Computing hash. Confirm upload. Doesn't never saw this before. Of course not. I wrote it. Let's see what it does. Detection. In queuing file for analysis. It's giving me a hash. Setting up analysis environment. Oh, it runs it through a bunch of antiviruses. I see what it's doing. Acronis, Antly, Avast, Avira, BitDefense. You know what? That's kind of cool.
That is neat.
So look at this. It's scanning it through hundreds. And you know what? Clean as a whistle.
As we had hoped.
No security vendors and no sandboxes flag this file as malicious. So it's dependent on... That's interesting. It's dependent on these antivirus companies. By the way, that's a Linux app, and it detected that and scanned it. So, but depending on all these companies having that, Alibaba, CrowdStrike, Falcon, Cylance, SecureAge, Tetris, and TrustLook could not do anything with it. They don't do that kind of file. But a surprisingly large number. That's good. That's good. I like you, VirusTotal. I can get a free public API key. That'd be an interesting program to write. Just automatically check it before it...
yeah, anytime. It'd be nice every time you download
it goes in the download folder.
Yeah.
That'd be an easy thing to do is on a Mac, write a little action script that monitors. You could do this in your Python.
I could even use Hazel.
Hazel would do it?
To watch the file and then write the Python that actually talks to the API.
You don't really need Hazel because this is built into the OS to watch it. There's a folder
like
to
watch. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But Hazel makes it a lot easier. Yeah. That's a good idea. There's your assignment. And actually, the real value of the assignment is learning how to handle APIs, which is hard. Very hard. Well, it can be very hard depending on the API. Like if you wanted to understand the TWiT API, you'd have to be able to parse JSON and all sorts of, it's hard to do that.
And parse Patrick.
Yeah. Parse Patrick. No, he didn't write it.
Oh.
It's a REST API. Uses JSON for requests and responses. Yeah, so you'd have to be able to read and write JSON. But there are libraries in Python that'll do that. It's a little tricky. Might be a little above your pay grade yet.
Yeah,
but
it's still a little early. But I could play around.
You're getting there. Python's incredibly powerful. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk with...
And Mikah Sargent, tech guy too.
Sorry. Force of habit. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smartwatches. I'm blessed to have Mikah with me on Saturdays. It's nice. Story that we will be watching with interest. We don't know the details yet. Researchers at the University of Wisconsin-Madison were trying to figure out how much audio is captured by video conferencing applications. Now, they say that they found, so they used runtime binary analysis tools, which kind of we were just talking about with VirusTotal, to trace raw audio in popular video conferencing applications as the audio traveled from the app to the computer audio driver and then to the network and this is important, while the app was muted. You have the mute button pressed on your Hangouts or your meetings or your Zoom or whatever. They found that all of the apps they tested occasionally gather raw audio data while mute is activated. One popular app gathered information and delivered data to its servers at the same rate, regardless of whether the microphone is muted or not. Now, they won't say the name. The paper has been accepted at the 2022 Privacy Enhancing Technologies Symposium, so that'll be published next month. So at that point, we'll know. I'm going to guess it's Zoom, because we already heard problems that Zoom had along these lines. And I don't necessarily think they're intentionally spying on you. It's really how the software was written.
Right.
So the mute function doesn't change how and I can understand why you might write it this way. It doesn't change how the program's working. It just means that the other recipients don't hear you talking. And really, if you think about it, that kind of makes sense. You don't want to suddenly start and stop the stream of audio. If you want that mute button to work quickly, you just say,
especially
silence it.
those applications are doing processing on the audio, so
exactly.
You don't want that to cut out either.
Exactly. So I wouldn't jump to the conclusion. You'll see this story, and I'm sure when the paper comes out, you'll see this story, and people will go crazy, hair on fire. Doesn't mean even, it could, but it doesn't mean that. I honestly think, if you think about it, the number of Zoom calls or Hangouts calls or Google Meet calls or Blue Jean calls that are going on at any given time, thousands, hundreds of thousands, ain't nobody got time to listen to all those calls. And what would they be listening for anyway? Maybe you say, well, they probably send those to the government, which then scans them for keywords, and that's possible. I guess that's possible. But I don't think it's cause for concern at this point. I kind of understand how
it's good to know.
It's good to know. Yeah. If you're concerned about this, the best way to do this is to have a mute button on your microphone or on your computer that actually mutes, not use the mute button on the teleconferencing software, but actually use the sound control panel or system preference, or maybe, in fact, all my microphones have on-off switches.
Yep.
Just turn off the mic. There's nothing that's going to be sent. I mean, your video is still being sent. I'm not going to worry about it too much. 8888 asked Leo. The other thing we were talking about after our last call, he was worried about whether he should buy an antivirus for his iPhone. And somebody in the chat room mentioned, I use VirusTotal. This is a Google site, so it's safe, virustotal.com. Our security guy, Steve Gibson, he does the Security Now podcast with me. He says he uses this from time to time. You can upload any file, including a file you're about to install, a program you're about to install, anything like that. You can upload it to VirusTotal, and within a minute, it will scan it and tell you if it's dangerous. It runs it through several dozen well-known antivirus programs and sees if anybody flags it as problematic. So maybe better than running an antivirus all the time, which is always scanning, slowing your system down, using up system resources, possibly, potentially even opening security holes in your system. This has happened. Just uploading this to VirusTotal doesn't use any of your system resources. It's just a way of scanning something before you install it. I like this idea. It is not for mobile, although, gee, boy, that'd be neat. I should see if they have an app. But it is available for computers at virustotal.com, and it's free. It's a Google service. So thank you, chat room. Glad we could mention that. Back to the phones. 8888 ask Leo. Dave on the line from Chino, California. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Leo. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? Say hi to Mikah Sargent.
Hello, Dave.
Hey, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing all right, thank you.
What can we as a team do for you?
Yeah, so I have sort of an internet speed problem or performance problem. So I've got Frontier Fios at my house.
Nice.
I've got an Amplify mesh network.
Very nice. Jealous. Okay.
Through the house.
Yep.
And what I get is whether and it doesn't matter what device, whether it's my PC, my MacBook, my iPhone, doesn't matter the device. The internet performance will be going super fast and nice, and then just sort of drop off and be nothing.
Eee.
And at that exact moment, I will do a speed test, whether it's through Amplify or just a speed test app, and it says my speeds are fine. I'm up in the 200 range, but just the internet won't load. Pages won't load.
Okay.
And eventually it'll come back.
So this is what we call, I think, my diagnosis. My carefully listening to your problem, I diagnose this as a DNS issue. You think so?
Yep, same thing. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
So your connectivity isn't dwindling, but for some reason, the ability to, before you go to any site, you have to look that site up in the global internet phone book using the domain name system, DNS. And that goes through a server. So some sites will be cached on your computer locally for a brief period of time. But generally, if it's a site, you're going to yahoo.com, let's say, what happens is the browser then queries the operating system, where is yahoo.com, which then goes out and queries your router. The router says, I don't know, goes out and queries your internet service provider, where is yahoo.com. And if the internet service provider doesn't know, usually they do because they cache also other people's lookups. So any site you've gone to that others are going to, you'll probably get direct from the internet service provider. But even if they can't do it, it goes on up the chain. There are 13 name servers that are run by ICANN, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. These are the global servers. It's the big phone book in the sky. That process, if it fails, you're going to have connectivity. In fact, one way to test it is to write down. Well, actually, you don't even have to write anything down. I'll give you something. You can do what's called a ping command. You can do it from the command line. Ping space 8.8.8.8. That's Verizon's DNS servers. Now, you're pinging a number, not a name. So there's no DNS lookup involved. So that should come through at full speed. But if then you say ping yahoo.com and it doesn't, then we know it's a DNS problem. How do you solve this? Well, your DNS is coming from your internet service provider. You said Frontier?
Yes.
I wonder if they're having trouble with their DNS provider. 8 quads is not Verizon, that's Google. 4.4.4.4 is Verizon. So it's Google. So you can change your DNS service. You don't have to use your internet service providers. So if Frontier is having, you could call them and say, are you having problems with your DNS server? Because it's going up and down.
Definitely started within the last couple of weeks. It's been fine for the longest time, but now it's constant.
Yeah. So Amplify actually has an article, thank you, Mikah Sargent, on how to change that DNS address. You can continue, if you don't put one in, and by the way, you could put it in on any computer. The network settings of the computer will let you do that. But easiest to do it at the router. If you don't put one in your Amplify in the router, it will just use Frontier's. But you can say, no, I don't want to. In fact, I don't use my internet service provider's DNS.
I've used Cloudflare for years.
Cloudflare is 1.1.1.1, so you can just put that in. In fact, if you go to 1.1.1.1, and Cloudflare will give you instructions. Amplify probably talks about that. They have actually not only 1.1.1.1, but they have others, I think 1.1.1.2, and they have a few things that do different things. I also use, and actually I recommend this to everybody. It's not free. It's free for the first 300,000 requests a month. It's called NextDNS. And it goes the next step beyond just looking up stuff. It will block stuff that's malicious. It helps you, if you have kids, block them from going to sites you don't want them to go to. It also has ad blockers built in if you want to use those. It's a really clever service, and it's inexpensive. I pay about $1 a month because I use it for everything. But you can find out about that at nextdns.io. So there are plenty of other, in other words, plenty of other DNS servers you can use besides.
I used to have this problem all the time on my internet service provider, and then when I did the DNS change, I've never looked back after making this change.
Cloudflare is very good. They have fast servers and so forth. My friend Steve, we just mentioned Steve Gibson, our security guy, has actually a DNS benchmark that he's written for Windows. If you're on Windows, where you can, it has a bunch of DNS servers. You can enter in more if you want, and it'll tell you who the fastest is. But that's not always the best. You want the most reliable as well, fast and reliable. And clearly Frontier is letting you down. This is now a guess, but based on the symptoms you described, I think that's what's going on. The way to test that is that weird ping thing. You don't have to do that. Just try somebody else's DNS.
And you're saying the best way to do that would be to change that setting through Amplify?
Yeah, put it on the Amplify, because then it's the whole house.
We'll have links in the show notes, techguylabs.com, that leads you directly to that Amplify page where you change your network's DNS address. I've also got links to how to use Cloudflare to do that, and then also links to NextDNS. So you'll have all the information you need at techguylabs.com.
All right, you guys are incredible. Thanks so much.
Hey, I hope it helps. It could be something else completely, you know, but
we both went to that same place, though.
And you had that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. 8888 Ask Leo, that's the number. Now's a good time to talk to the tech guys, too. Get double your pleasure, double your fun. 888-827-5536. More calls right after this.
Please do not say double the pleasure.
You know, when you go out, used to be you'd go out to Candlestick Park, which was freezing cold. It was where the Giants used to play. And there was a guy, you know how at the ball game they have those crappy malts and they give you a wooden spoon that gives you splinters. You eat that out of the malt. They're terrible. But the guy's going around. It's freezing cold. He's selling these malts. And his line was, "Don't deny yourself the pleasure." Malts here. Malts here. Don't deny yourself the pleasure. It probably worked because it was so ridiculous. I certainly remember it. That's you don't remember the Doublemint twins, obviously.
Double your pleasure, double your fun with
Doublemint gum. It was a little creepy, actually. Come to think of it,
chewing gum can be fun, I guess.
You'd never heard double your pleasure, double your fun? God, now I realize why you thought it was so creepy. Listeners of this program get an ad-free version if they're members of Club TWiT. $7 a month gives you ad-free versions of all of our shows, plus membership in the Club TWiT Discord, a great clubhouse for TWiT listeners. And finally, the TWiT Plus feed with shows like Stacy's Book Club, the Untitled Linux Show, the Giz Fizz, and more. Go to twit.tv/clubtwit. And thanks for your support. Leo Laporte, how do you like your tech guys? Over easy, right? 8888 Ask Leo. We don't have 8888 Ask Mikah yet. I'll work on it.
Maybe too many letters there.
Too many letters, yeah. Let's go to line one. Jeff on the line from Henderson, Nevada. Hello, Jeff.
Hi, Leo. Good afternoon. I got an email from a website development company that's probably based in India, but on their website, they have a California address, and they seem like a reputable company from Googling them. I paid a normal price. It wasn't so discounted that it gave me cause for concern. The URL is my first and last name, so my first name, last name.com.
Yeah.
They want my register.com login and password.
No.
Thank you. That's why I called.
Even if they are legit, which they probably are. By the way, a lot of these days software services are provided by companies outside the U.S. because the contractors are less expensive. But Indian programmers are very well trained, very competent. Nothing wrong with that. This is pretty much a standard practice among all web design firms. They kind of want to control the DNS. The worst thing is to let them register it so that it's under their account, because then they own it. And you know it's happened. They can hold you hostage. You can't move. Like, you don't want to use this anymore? Well, too bad. We got your name. You own this domain registration, though. It's on your account, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what they want the register.com login for is to set the DNS. Now, how comfortable are you managing DNS settings?
0.
Yeah.
That's maybe why they're asking for it.
So if you trust them, I mean, there is risk, of course. What you could do is first of all, I check with register.com to see if they have a way of giving them access without giving them the account. They may well. They should. If they don't, then obviously change the password after they're done. But there is a one-time... Go ahead.
I was afraid they would cyber squat once they got the password.
Well, they could.
And then without the password, I can't do anything with the site.
Yeah, they could, but they need to change that DNS setting. They need to do that at register.com. They need to log in. So you could say, well, give me the step-by-step instructions. I can do it. I would call register.com and tell them and say, do you have a way that I can have a third party get access to these settings without losing control of the account? That would be the best thing to do.
Okay. Well, living in Las Vegas, Nevada, I'm a bit of a gambler. So I'll call register.com or email them.
Yeah, and, it's probably fine.
From there.
It's probably fine.
Okay.
Yeah. The reason I went no is exactly the reason why you and your brain went no. Because, yeah, if they have access to your account, they can log in. They're you. So they can do anything they want at that point. So you don't want them to do that. But at the same time, I understand why they need to. Right? They need to change some settings, and it's technical. It's fairly technical. It's easy, by the way, to screw up as well. So I would let them do it and change it back afterwards, or find out if there's a way to let a contractor get into your account. This is a very common thing, so I bet there is. Karen, San Pedro, California. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, with Mikah Sargent.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you, Mikah. Thank you, Leo, for taking my call.
What can we do for you?
About a week ago, on my cell phone, got a message saying when I tried to access my email, said, you can't access it until you prove your identity. Please put in your email and password. Okay, so I put in my email address, put in my password. It thought a bit, went back again, put in your email and password. Over and over and over, doing the same thing. It would not let me access. So after about 15, 20 minutes of doing this, I thought, okay, I'm going to call technical support, which was from AT&T. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, say it. And it's Yahoo Mail. Who's doing the mail?
Yahoo Mail.
Yahoo Mail.
AT&T.
Yeah.
So I was on the phone for about an hour with a young lady from AT&T, and she had me change my password and going through a lot of steps, and took me to another site. And this site had on it that I had to authorize allowing Yahoo to access email and a couple other things, which was fine. But it also was asking me to authorize something called ID and OAuth.
Yeah. So this is ID.me, and this is a way of proving you are who you say you are.
Well, when I read the fine print for OAuth, it had a lot of interesting information about...
It's scary, but it's okay. Hang on, we got to take a break. We'll talk to you off the air. Leo Laporte, Mikah Sargent, the tech guys. It is scary, I understand, but it's fine. OAuth is yeah, well, it's complicated. So first thing, before you do all of this, the problem is not that there's something wrong with... Well, it could be. It could be that their password is wrong. We've had a lot of people call with ATT, Yahoo Mail problems lately. So I think there's something wrong with their systems. One thing to try is rebooting the phone. Just, make sure it shuts all the way down. Is it an iPhone?
No, it's a Samsung.
Samsung. So every phone has a little different procedure, but I think if you press and hold the screen on-off and button, it'll give you a chance to restart the phone. Yes. Do that and then see if it'll stick. Because sometimes what's happening is it's not that the password's wrong. It's that it's not saving it properly. It's not remembering it. So rebooting sometimes fixes that. That's the first thing to try anyway. If the password has been changed, see, the problem is this person you got at Yahoo, no guarantee that she's the expert here. She's working out of a notebook.
Right, right.
It says, well, the first thing you should do is, let me read this. And she doesn't know. So she's reasonably, possibly thinking that the password's been changed. I don't know if that's the case. You didn't change it, right?
I did change it because when I was on the merry-go-round, that was the first thing that she said to do. Well, change your password.
Okay.
And then it
didn't fix it.
Which it had the OAuth and the
that's where you get to all of this. Okay.
Right.
OAuth is fine. It's a way of making your login secure.
Even though it says that they're giving access to third party on it.
Yeah, because OAuth. So they are. The third party in this case is AT&T. So it's fine.
Oh, okay. Because it said that.
Yeah, they have to say that because it's true, but it's not selling your information to marketers. It's how OAuth works. Yeah, it's how OAuth works. OAuth is a third party that is verifying your information and then sending a token to AT&T saying, yep, that's her. And in order to do that, that's three parties. So OAuth is the first party, AT&T is the third party. And that's why they say that. They have to say that because otherwise, they wouldn't be revealing the truth, but that's fine. OAuth is safe.
Okay, because it would not let me access it. And now it's also attacked my tablet. I can't access my email on my tablet, and I'm afraid it's going to access my computer.
Well, what's going to happen is from now on, each time you use the mail the first time on those devices, you're going to have to go through this process. But it's a more secure process. And after that, you won't have to enter the password again.
Okay, so I should allow access because it either said deny or allow.
Yeah.
If you said deny, they cut you off.
Yeah, nothing will happen. It won't get fixed.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's the first thing to try is OAuth is a legitimate thing. I use OAuth. It's fine. It's a technology, not a person. And AT&T does in fact use this with their email. So that's fine too.
Okay, because that was the first time I'd ever seen anything.
Yeah.
She didn't explain it. She just said, you must allow it. That's all there is. You have to allow it. She didn't explain.
Well, the whole thing's up in the air because I don't even know who owns Yahoo anymore. It ain't AT&T or Verizon. It's a new company. And so I think they're changing systems. And so I think that's probably what's happening. So first thing to do, reboot your phone, try the password, see if it works. OAuth is fine.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, have a great day. Thank you,
Mike. You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm reading about OAuth. It was December of 2019 that they did this.
Yeah. It's a better way to do it. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. I'm Leo Laporte.
And I'm Mikah Sargent, Tech Guy 2.
There's one and there's two. I could be like Thing 1 and you could be Thing 2. How about that?
We'll get matching shirts.
Kelvin's on the line from San Diego. Hello, Kelvin.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Doing well.
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Doing great. The best day of my life. Yesterday gone, tomorrow's not here. We're still here today.
Yay! Boy, I wish I had that philosophy. Yeah, let's snap our fingers.
Snaps for Kelvin.
Love it. Love it.
So I'm calling because I have a situation that so I'm getting a lot of presentation gigs.
Yeah.
From my pottery studio, and so they want me to do virtual presentations. And
nice,
because of my deaf blindness, I need to be able to have assistance virtually, and so I need to be able to have good audio.
You're getting by now, Kelvin. You've got a radio station in your pottery studio. You've really got it all set up. You got it going.
I do. And
Kelvin, by the way, we should mention, we've talked to him before, is a deaf-blind potter, does TikToks, right? And YouTubes?
TikToks, YouTubes, and you can go to deafblindpotter.com. If you want, I haven't made a lot lately, so my pickings are slim. And Mother's Day pieces, I got like 4 or 5 more Mother's Day bowls, so if you want some...
Oh, they're beautiful. I'm looking at some of these vases that you make. Boy, are they beautiful. You know what? Instead of the junky vase I get from the florist, I'm going to get one of your vases and put some nice flowers in it, and then that'll be a vase to keep. These are beautiful. Beautiful. So they want you to stream like as a presentation, as a talk, a keynote.
Yes. So I've been doing a lot of presentations from the potter's wheel. So I'll throw live a piece.
Oh, that's neat.
And tell my story.
Oh, that's so great.
Talking about my suicide issues back in the day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Overcoming those pains and sufferings that I've done in the past.
So when you hear Kelvin say that philosophy now, You know, that's the real deal. That's awesome. That's so great.
Thank you. And so what I do right now is I have to call in the Zoom on one phone.
Yeah.
And that's what gets the audio. So I use my Rode NTG to get my audio in, so it's good quality mic. And then I have to call in with my iPhone so that way.
For the camera?
You hear that. No. So I use my Pixel for the camera and the audio. And then I mute. And then I call in to get the audio to my hearing aids so that I can hear the people talking.
Oh, so you can hear. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah. But I need virtual assistants from a company called Ira. They're out of San Diego, so they provide assistance virtually for the visually impaired, so they can read the comments in the comment sections and they can tell me all that information.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so I wear my headset. So that website, by the way, is AIRA.io.
Yes, I've heard of them before. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then I put my headset on so I can hear them. And so I just got so many things going on to be able to get good audio and be able to hear what's going on. So I'm trying to simplify it because I could do my mixer, but again, I'm still wired in.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find a Bluetooth headset that gets really good audio.
Bluetooth, oh.
And then try to get...
But it would need to hear two different sources, wouldn't it?
No, we're just needing one source. But I can still use my hearing aids for Ira.
Oh, so you'd wear the Bluetooth headset in one ear and your hearing aids in both ears.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the headset, like over the ear.
Yeah. But your hearing aids can still be in. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I can hear the Ira agents, and then I can then have the headset on to be able to communicate with the audience.
Wow. And you want to make this, simplify it?
Yeah, I just want to make it just my hearing aids and my headset, and not have to have a third device like my phone having to call in to hear the audio, because you have that audio delay.
Yeah.
So you have you'll hear.
Boy, you got me, Kelvin. I don't know, how could we make this? Holy cow! I mean, it's kind of a Rube Goldberg machine, but it works, right?
It works.
In what way does it not work for you right now?
So it's having to. So right now I have to call Ira through my computer.
Yeah.
So I want to eliminate the computer. So if I'm calling in Zoom, could I get a headset that has a good mic?
So there is a way to do this. It's a little complicated. You need a Mac. If you had a Mac and you went to, there's a company called Rogue Amoeba, ROGUE Amoeba, AMOEBA software, and they make a tool that will do exactly what you want. It's called Audio Hijack. And what it allows you to do is, in software, take multiple inputs, audio inputs, and multiple audio outputs. And what it would do is eventually meld these different audio sources into one that you then put on your headphones and your headset, and it would take your audio and send it back appropriately. You're kind of writing a routing table, like a railway station, where you're saying, okay, when this audio comes in here, you go there. And it's a really, the reason I say Mac is I don't know of any analog solution on Windows that will do this, but they have got it down for audio in the Mac. So maybe at least go to rogueamoeba.com and look at Audio Hijack to see what I'm talking about and see if this will work. Do you have somebody like an engineer who's helping you?
So I just talked to somebody yesterday. We were talking about getting like the Bose airplane headphones.
Yeah.
The microphone that comes.
I think what we want to do is simplify the workflow and then worry about what hardware, like what headphones and all that. So let's simplify it so that we can get, the real problem is you have multiple audio inputs and in a way multiple audio outputs, right? Do you ever talk to Ira or no?
Yeah, so that would come from my phone.
Yeah.
So that's why we would just...
No, I know. That's why we're trying to get this all into one box, right? Yeah. And then that's just the audio. It doesn't handle the video. But the video, I think, is fine because you could send that separately. Or you could route it through the Mac. I mean, Audio Hijack will work with something like OBS Studio to send videos out, and we'll mix that into the OBS Studio video. So I think there's a way to get this all together, but it's complicated. I think I've told you before, Kelvin, about my friend Alex Lindsay and Office Hours.
Yes. Yep.
This is the kind of thing they would love to sink their teeth into, and maybe you could find somebody in the San Diego area who would come over and help you. Because this is going to be hard to do if you're blinded, because it's very visual. It's complicated.
Okay.
But once it's set up, it's
buy a Mac though.
Well, maybe you can find somebody to lend you a Mac on this as well. Yeah, I don't. Otherwise, it's very complicated because you've got all these different things doing different things, and I'm also worried about lag. Do you notice a lag sometimes causing problems?
No, because the way right now I do everything from the Pixel phone.
Yeah, so the Pixel's the master.
Yeah, so it runs the Zoom.
Do you have a computer at all, or no? Just mobile?
Yeah, I have my piece. I have a Surface Pro.
Okay, let me look for something that's similar to Audio Hijack on Windows, because that might be a better way to do it. But at least you don't have to buy a new computer. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. It's complicated.
It is very complicated.
It's complicated. I don't know if we can really help you, Kelvin, because it's so complicated. I don't even know if I understand how it works. But I love...
My strategy was if I could get a Bluetooth headset that had a microphone and connect it Bluetooth to the Pixel, then the people would be able to hear me and everything. And then since I already had to call Ira, I could call Ira on my phone and use my hearing aids.
I guess that'll all work, yeah.
So you have a separate microphone that's picking up your voice. The headset is just to talk with Ira.
No, the headset is to talk to the audience, and I would use the microphone from the headset because I want good quality.
Instead of your Rode microphone?
Yeah.
So you'd only have one microphone. That's a good start, by the way.
Yeah.
Multiple microphones going to get. So there are lots of headsets that give you good quality audio. I wouldn't do Bluetooth if you could avoid it, but ideally you'd plug it into the Pixel.
Yeah, I would.
Because then you don't have to worry about Bluetooth. But there are lots of good headsets. What do we use, John, these days? What do we recommend to people when they go out and buy headsets? The Jabras? Yeah. The last time, we keep changing, but and what model number do you know, John? Was it the Elite?
Yeah, Jabra Elite.
75 or 85? 65. There's a Jabra Elite headset. There's some that go in the ear. You don't want that. You want the one that goes over your ears. And I think Jabra is probably the best. The Evolve 275 is their new thing. I bet that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So take a look at the Jabra, Jabra.com.
Awesome. I'll take a look at that, and then...
Those will give you the best. Those are good. The microphones are good. They're not great, but they're good. They'll give you good sound. They're over-the-ear headphones. That's what you want, right? So you can have your hearing aids in. Yep. So you'll hear well. I think those are the ones to get. The Jabra Evolve 2. These are brand new. And they are wireless, and they have a little charger that you put it on, which is nice.
Okay.
When you're done. So they're always ready to go.
Okay.
I think these actually look pretty good. Yeah. I bet they're expensive. You got anybody helping you out financially?
Well, that's why people buy pottery.
Buy the pottery.
Buy the pots.
I'm going to go buy some more pottery.
The pottery essentially funds both my tech stuff and then also the lighted blind king. And so when you buy pottery, you're protecting the 253 million blind people from getting hit by pottery.
I know. You're awesome. Deafblindpotter.com. Buy this beautiful pottery. Buy some pottery. And help Kelvin with these Jabras because they're probably expensive. But Jabra Evolve, they have USB-A, USB-C charging stand. No, yes. Optimized for Teams or unified communications. They look wireless, though. Noise cancellation, 8 mic beamforming technology. Oh, they don't. Do they have a boom? Yeah, they have a boom. 36 hours single charge battery life. Yeah, these are going to sound as good as any boom will sound. Don't get the charging stand. That's expensive.
Well, there is a donation button on Deafblind Potter. So
there we go.
Good.
We'll kick some in for you.
All right.
Pleasure talking to you, Kelvin, as always.
Thanks so much, Kelvin.
Take care.
All right. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mad Magazine's maddest writer, Dick DeBartolo, is here.
Oh, yeah. What happened to the other guy?
Well, I am verklempt because I think we're going to be the first to announce this brand new issue of Mad Magazine.
Well, that's actually, I had to find out what it was. It's a special that's only going to be sold at Barnes & Noble.
Oh.
Okay.
It's
so
Mad's
you should have also
treasure trove of trash.
That's it.
2022 Yawns and Babble edition.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
Okay.
So it's $10. That's why they're selling it in a real bookstore. But you know, Barnes & Noble, exactly. I was in there the other day with the one in our local Barnes & Noble up in Santa Rosa. They've got magazine rack after magazine racks. There's people still making magazines, I guess.
Oh my gosh, they have a huge. Now, Mad's not in there, but the specials are. No, but yeah, they have boating magazines and train.
It's amazing. Yeah. Magazines have not gone away. I love it. It still says William M. Games founder.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, they should give him credit. Yeah, it's long gone, sad to say, but he's the man who made Mad what it is today. And this guy kind of counts too. For 5 decades, Mr. Dick DeBartolo Mr. Harmony the Harbo has appeared in every single. And I don't know why today I'm having a hard time with your name. I've only been saying it for 20 years. Dick DeBartolo has been in every episode of every issue of Mad Magazine. This is the new one.
That's there you go.
Another revolting.
So I had to look that up too, because The Rock is in a new movie coming out like in a month or two.
Yeah.
And he plays a superhero, and he joins other superheroes to stamp out evil. So that's all I know about it.
I thought it was a play on, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? And it's toast. But I guess that was.
I think I think Alfred's trying to develop a superpower himself.
Oh, that's it. I get it.
In a very bad way.
He has the power to make his hair stand on end. But you know what? Dwayne Johnson can't do that. So
no.
So Dick joins us every week, not merely to talk about Mad Magazine, although I always make him do that, but to share a gizmo or a gadget with us. That's why we call him our Gizmo Wizard. What is new in the Giz Wiz world?
I went to the car show, the International Auto Show.
You don't even drive, Dick.
No, I have a license because you need one to cash checks. Oh. But
who knew?
Even though I've owned 26 boats, I have never owned a car.
Because in the city, you don't need to.
Oh, in the city,
you don't even need one.
You don't want one.
No. I mean, when I walk the dog, people keep saying, "Are you going to a car? Will you be leaving a?"
I know. Parking is insane.
No, absolutely.
So what did you see? Anything you liked at the car show?
I went looking for weird, okay?
Yes, as usual. Yes.
Okay. So I found the car. It's called the Indy 1, I-N-D-I, the Indy 1.
Yes.
And the man said to me, "You're going to love this car because in the back seat, we have VR headsets with software we have developed so that as you play the game, the motion of the car
makes you throw up.
No, that was the funny thing. He said, what research has found is playing video games in our car, people don't get sick.
I have never been sicker in my life than playing Quake on a bus to work.
But if the car matches the motion of the vehicle in the game,
you would.
That is correct.
Isn't Mikah
that is
smart?
Correct. I said, like, if I'm riding a horse and the car makes a left turn, he said, yes, your horse will go left.
My 35 miles per hour horse.
Yeah. But Leo, what I thought was funny about this car is behind the steering wheel.
Yeah.
There's a little thing, and I said to the woman, is that an iPad? And she said, no, people think it's an iPad or they think it's a tablet. The driver has this little dinky display.
Yeah.
The passenger, actually, you're on the company's website now. The passenger has twin displays.
Well, yeah.
And
this is a car
said,
for everybody but the driver, it sounds like.
Yes, that is exactly. Yeah, I thought it was kind of clever that everything is where the driver can't get to.
Unfortunately, it's the driver that buys the car. But okay,
that's true.
Fine.
That's
okay.
true.
So you have an entertainment display. It does look like an iPad. You have, I mean, a lot of stuff.
There's a Windows computer in there. I don't know if the guy works at the company.
It's a car for influencers.
But the whole time I was sitting there, this guy was working away. He had his phone and was typing on the screen. And
that's hysterical.
So the thing to keep in mind is that they said delivery will be 12 to 18 months. Okay. And if you go on the website, you can put your name down.
It's a good-looking vehicle. I mean, is it electric?
Yeah. It's electric, has a 300-mile range.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. This sounds on the low side, 95-kilowatt battery.
No, mine's 88 in my Ford. That's not bad.
Oh, my God. Yeah. That piece of crap you drive?
Hey, whoa. No, that's good. That's good. 95.
No. Ford was there, Leo, with the Lightning F-150.
Oh, the F-150 Lightning truck. Oh, yeah.
Which has, reversible...
Yeah, power.
So you can power your house from
exactly. Yeah. It's got an inverter on it, which means you can, if your power goes out, you can run your house off the battery in the truck. And it's such a big battery, it would, last a long time.
But
this is cool.
I asked the guy. Yeah. That's $90,000.
Oh yeah, they're expensive. How much is the Indy?
This thing starts at $42,000.
Oh, that's not bad for an electric vehicle.
No, it seemed like anybody asked the price. It seemed like the going range is around 40 to 90 for electric vehicles.
Well, unless you get a Tesla, and you can spend a lot more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Tesla I had, the Model X I had was, I think I leased it, so I think it was $130,000, but it had a 90-watt. Whoa! Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? It had a 90-kilowatt battery. So this is good. This is good.
But it's interesting that there's nothing. If your car breaks down, there's nothing you can do with an electric car, right?
No, you just walk away and leave it there. What do you mean? There's nothing you can do? You can have it towed.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute.
Didn't you tell me that you couldn't even have it towed?
Yeah, you can have it towed. Are you saying that if your car in the old days when you had a car, which you never did, when it broke down, you would just open the hood and fix something? Is that what you're saying?
Outboard motor. Okay. If an outboard motor broke down,
what would you do?
I knew how to call my neighbor who was a mechanic.
Well, the good news is electric motors rarely break down. They're very simple.
Oh, okay.
They're very, very simple compared to a gas motor.
Okay.
Okay. If you want to find out more about this and all the other stuff, this is not one I'll be running out to buy. But
no, I didn't think so.
Well, this is my next vehicle
fun.
for sure.
For sure, you like it?
All the cameras inside, so I can record my content.
It's the influence.
Cameras inside and out.
GizWiz.
Editing software.
.biz is the website. GIZWIZ.biz. Check out the What the Heck Is It contest to win an autographed copy of Mad Magazine with The Rock on the front of it. Autographed by this guy, Dick DeBartolo. And there's also lots of other cool things on the website, GizWiz.biz. Don't forget his podcast, GizWiz.tv. Thank you, Dickie D.
Okay, buddy.
Pleasure talking to you. Thank you, Mikah Sargent. Really a pleasure to have you on the
always good to be
Saturday
here.
show. I wish you were here both days. We're going to work on that. Anything you want to plug?
My shows, iOS Today, Tech News Weekly during the week, Clockwise as well, over on Relay FM. Check them all out.
He does a lot of shows.
I do too many shows.
He's a very busy fella. But we love having you here. So thank you, Mikah Sargent. Thanks to Professor Laura, our musical director, Kim Schaffer, our phone angel. Thanks to all of you who joined us today. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Leo Laporte and Mikah Sargent, the Tech Guys. Have a great Geek Week. Well, that's it for the Tech Guys show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget TWiT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on MacBreak Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.